This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back.
You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This is a struggle for the survival.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And this will be our last chance to say.
Trying to free your mind. It is this feeling that has brought you to me.
At last.
No judge in U.S. history has ever told somebody what they can and can't say.
The whole purpose of the First Amendment is to keep the government the hell out of the business of speech.
Many of us have been wrong. A lot of us here are calling.
I can only show you the door.
Waking up.
You're the one that has to walk through it.
Spreading a message.
Something's happening, right?
The world is changing. Every day.
Civilization is weird.
Time is coming.
At a
Train
tipping.
can't be stopped. The message is already here.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back.
You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This is a struggle for the survival.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And this will be our last chance to say.
Trying to free your mind. It is this feeling that has brought you to me.
At last.
No judge in U.S. history has ever told somebody what they can and can't say.
The whole purpose of the First Amendment is to keep the government the hell out of the business of speech.
Many of us have been wrong. A lot of us here are calling.
I can only show you the door.
Waking up.
You're the one that has to walk through it.
Spreading a message.
Something's happening, right?
The world is changing. Every day.
Civilization is weird.
Time is coming.
At a
Train
tipping.
can't be stopped. The message is already here.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back.
You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This is a struggle for the survival.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And this will be our last chance to say.
Trying to free your mind. It is this feeling that has brought you to me.
At last.
No judge in U.S. history has ever told somebody what they can and can't say.
The whole purpose of the First Amendment is to keep the government the hell out of the business of speech.
Many of us have been wrong. A lot of us here are calling.
I can only show you the door.
Waking up.
You're the one that has to walk through it.
Spreading a message.
Something's happening, right?
The world is changing. Every day.
Civilization is weird.
Time is coming.
At a
Train
tipping.
can't be stopped. The message is already here.
A little more volume for me. Just give me some more audio input from me.
Oh,
How's that?
it's all infinite that goes now.
Check,
This
check,
is your
1, 2.
last chance. After this, there is no turning
All
back.
right. We good?
Yes, sir.
Mic check, mic check. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to The True Perspective on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and Rumble. Hold on, let me just put the camera.
Hey, what is Rumble?
There we
I
go.
gotta learn about
Rumble is it's like YouTube, but it's better in my opinion because
Okay.
it doesn't censor.
Oh.
Like
Gotcha.
it doesn't like YouTube keeps kicking me off of there's so many topics that I talked about. It hasn't taken down any of my videos, but it's downgraded the algorithm. Like even when I go live, it's like
YouTube does a lot of strange
things.
You ever had like an account that stayed? And you sending people to the site, traffic is going, but it stays. Like let's say it's like 2,000, it's like stays there.
Yes,
and you're like, wait, I know for a fact I'm watching it 5 times a day. Like
yes, yes, exactly.
Like it's got to be at least 2005.
Come on, bro,
but it's like steady on 2000. Yeah,
I'm just checking the streams real quick, everybody. Yeah, we're live.
Big props on that hoodie, by the way.
Yeah, that
Thank
hoodie.
you.
Yeah, first
props,
thing I said.
Props to wife because she. So what was it? What did I say? It was Valentine's Day. Or Valentine's week is when I got this, and it has my son's name on it.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying, right on the sleeve.
Even more special.
Yeah. So it's got Dad right across it. Super proud of it. I was like, and all I have is like green, like olive green hoodies, and that's really all I wear. Like so far, so far that's been like my color to wear. But she got me this. I was like, yeah, I need a black hoodie. I need something I can, get with more clothing and stuff like that because the green I can only do so much with it.
Yeah.
You're telling me.
Yeah.
See, right,
bruh.
Oh, this is the dad
got
episode.
the green. Yeah, the dad episode.
Yeah.
Dads. All right, I'm just making sure that we're live. Just bear with me a moment.
Yeah.
One man army right here.
The dad show with the hip hops.
The hip hop pops.
The hip hop pops. Was that song? The hip hop pops.
Pop pops.
So yeah, we were just talking about, I don't know, we could open it up with that. We were just talking about artificial intelligence and music. And Inphynit just said, so hold on, before we get that far, because you guys came in here last time, and we were talking about a lot of stuff, but I want just reintroduce yourselves and let everybody know who y'all are. We got Inphynit in the room. We got Phoenyx in the room from United Soul Alliance. So,
USA.
So yeah,
Keep up.
try to Phoenix. Try to adjust that mic so where it's like
boom, 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 boom,
there you
boom.
go.
Yeah.
You talk into the ice cream cone.
Trying not to have it like all in your face, but it's all good.
Into the ice cream.
I'm sorry. Wait, I forgot. That's
There you go.
There's a
There you
camera.
go. That's perfect. Yeah. We're all on camera.
I'm here.
So we were just talking about artificial intelligence and how they could do that. But yeah, so introduce yourself and
I am Phoenix the actor.
You can't be the actor. You're the Phoenix the MC
Can I
tonight.
introduce
Are
myself?
you the MC?
Can I introduce myself?
I guess
I'm Phoenix the actor.
I didn't know I could.
Prominent vocal addition to the amazing, astounding, locally grown United Soul Alliance.
Yes, sir.
Keep up.
yes.
With us, we got the homie.
Marlon Carey the actor? No. Inphynit the Ghost. No. With this outfit, with this particular role, I'm Inphynit the Ghost. I'm always who I am, but I mean, this is, Inphynit, Phoenix, Red Rebel. That's the heart of what we've been doing for over a decade now.
Yeah.
And now we got the band, with 3-piece band. Big ups to Spoons, my man Rob, Uncle Funkster Faust, and little man Rashad there, my young boy.
And my homie BJ on the side.
Oh, we do get that 4-piece on sometimes. So it's a really good opportunity to be able to put together the hip hop in a different way. Roots, Anderson .Paak, like something like that. Think about doing the hip hop but with the band.
Right. And because you guys were just talking about that too while we were off air, and so you talk about that. Talk about, because Phoenix, you were filming in a little bit too.
Yes. We just submitted for a Tiny Desk contest. We love to show.
Tiny
desk.
Tiny Desk.
Yeah.
NPR has the Tiny Desk thing, which essentially, I don't know who the first one was, but essentially, it's like MTV used to have Unplugged.
Yes.
So Tiny Desk was like, somebody at NPR invited an artist to come in and they rocked at their little desk and they squeezed the whole band in, and it became a whole concept. So for the last, for over a decade now, they've had them. But they have a contest now that you can get in. So it's not just like established artists coming in. Every year they've been doing this contest where, so they want people who are unsigned, as it were, kicking in something new and original. And so we thought, since we got this band thing going, let's just put ourselves on the table. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
They get about 6,000 applicants every year. They give like a 30-day window for you to get stuff in. So about 6,000 people sneak in there. and we figured, hey, let's be on the table.
Right.
Let's be on the table.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And this is this is the one where you're taking your music and then making it into live music. Is that?
Yeah, because that's the overall concept of the band in general.
Yep,
So we were already in that space. We've been rehearsing for like a year. We did a couple of gigs. We did one in Pawtucket and a little piece in Boston before the year ended last year. So just going in the top of the year, this just was perfect timing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Because locally, there's not a lot of hip hop bands in Rhode Island. There's bands.
Right.
Shouts to Chachi and the International Players. That's literally the only people that we can think of right now that do what we do.
Right.
In terms of taking hip hop and adding the band and the rocket. Maybe later on we'll add a DJ.
Mm-hmm.
But right now it's us and the music, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're not like emulating what you hear on the record. We just reinvented these tracks. The lyrics are ours. Whatever happened with the beats, a lot of the stuff that we're performing right now for this first set is from our first album, Societal Thoughts. A lot of drama behind that. We could do a whole other show about how we ended up not being on Dark Stars Records anymore and us not quite owning all of that.
Right.
So the lyrics are all ours, and we just decided to do something different with it. And the guys are not trying to reinvent what we did on the record. We do like a jazz hip hop thing. Each time you hear these tracks, they're different. So
and that's because like when Phoenix was in here, he was telling me a little bit about that too. It having live bands is so much more difficult when you have something already produced, because like you have the production side, and when you have when everything's produced, you have all the beats, everything's all in line, and then you have to reimagine and recreate that. And yeah, that's but it's also very rewarding too, because like you have that live sound. There's nothing better in my personal opinion. There's nothing better. Even it doesn't matter if it's hip hop or whatever. Like if I go to one of those, like a nice pub or something like that has an actual live, some guy that has all of these instruments and whatever he's doing, or a live band in general. Nothing better than live sound. In my opinion.
Absolutely.
When the drummer hits that snare, I'm like,
yeah,
let's go.
It's a blessing to be with these guys. A really, really great group of musicians, and of course, my brothers. We've been rapping for years, so like, just overall, man, it took a while to settle in. We had. The hardest thing to find is the drummer.
Yeah.
So,
Good
shouts
drummer.
to Rashard again.
Yeah.
Thank you for being around. Just overall, but solid bass player. Rob has done a lot of different bands. You know what I'm saying? Spoons he might come in later on. He's supposed to show up, but he's a dope MC on his own.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He used to do a lot of things back in the day. What was it? The Night Enders.
The Night Enders.
Night Enders.
With Hayes. Yeah. So they had a band, had a group rather. They used to rap, whatever, and but he was a capable keyboard player. So I said to him one day, "Yo, what do you want to do with this band?" And he was like, "Yo, I want to play the keys, bro. I'll rap eventually. We'll do it, but like I want to start off with like providing this sound." And he's been excellent. So just overall, I'm really proud of the work. And the video, if you go to YouTube, United Soul Alliance Tiny Desk entry, you'll see like the work. You'll see what we've been doing.
Yep.
So
is that page run by you? Or is Tiny Desk run by a different organization?
Tiny Desk is that's NPR.
And they have all your work, and they have a lot of your work on there. That's dope.
But it's
that's
also
awesome.
on the Inphynit channel. I think we'll put it up on all.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's really cool. Now, when did you start? When did you start getting involved with Tiny Desk?
This year.
This year.
A couple months ago, we entered the contest, right?
Yep.
That's it. We put ourselves on the table, and
maybe I meant like, how did you find out about it? Like,
shouts to Mary Kate,
okay,
a friend of ours. She hit me up one day and was like, "This is available," and I was like, "Oh, word! It's right down our line." Ever since United Soul Alliance got created, God, how long ago we've been?
Quite a while.
Yeah. So definitely,
I've known you guys, I think, since at least 2010. It might even go back a little bit further than that.
And the band goes
actually, no. Hold on a second, because Meta-P, right?
Yeah.
So
I lived with Meta. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's how now it's all coming back a little bit. That's how I met you. I think through Meta-P, and I think that's how later on I met you. Meta-P was
Shouts
out
to
of
Meta-P.
Yeah. Shout out to Meta-P.
That was originally we were a group.
I think you guys were. Were you guys living on Douglas Ave or something?
Yes.
Like? Yeah. All right. So that was the time. That was the time.
Meta were Dead Poets.
Dead Poets. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
all
right.
goes
And
back.
damn,
Yeah.
what's his name? He was a producer too. He like his
Pinto.
Scan?
Pinto. There we go. There we go.
Shouts
Mike
Pinto,
Shout outs to
yo.
Pinto,
Yeah, that's
man.
when we were all on Oakland Ave.
Mike Pinto's the man.
Yeah.
Oakland
Mike-
Ave.
So you
shout
go
out to
way
Mike
back with us like that.
I do, I
I'll be
do.
forgetting that sometimes.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
too.
Because he
Sometimes
was young.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, how
Well,
a
see-
couple years younger than us, I think.
I'm 38 now, so
yeah.
I think at the time when I met y'all, I was like around 18, 19, somewhere around there.
That would make
Yeah. So, yo, it just clicked right now. Actually, yo, that's crazy. Because I remember, because I remember that we were in this apartment. I think it was Meta P's apartment. I don't know. I'm not sure who lived with who, but I know that Meta P was there. Mike Pinto was there.
Yeah.
You were there,
That's our
and,
spot.
and I'm pretty sure you were there too.
On Oakland Ave, yeah.
Oakland Ave.
Yeah.
And they were recording. We were all recording or something like that.
Pinto would come through with the board, bro.
Yeah,
He'd come through the board,
that
and
was
he'd
that
be
night.
in like somebody's bedroom,
Yep.
and he'd close the door.
Yep. That was definitely one of the nights for sure. And then like we had like this big cipher in the kitchen or something like that. Big cipher in the kitchen. That was dope.
Regular.
Yeah.
Regular. And it was like it was a period of time when I had just come back from college, right? So you figure I'm like, a little older than the others, but only slightly.
Yeah.
Old enough that I could still hang out and still be cool.
Yeah.
And it was like we were performing, as it were, right?
Yep.
Every weekend.
Yep.
Like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We was in somebody's basement, somebody's crib, and we would travel from like dorm to dorm. Yo, it was crazy in terms of this sort of underground run that we had, right?
Yep.
Like filled basements. And we didn't like advertise shows and whatever. We would literally show up.
We're rocking in the basement.
Yep.
Somebody would hand us a mic. And it would be a show, and while I'm rocking on the mic, somebody'd hand me a beer, and I'm having the beer, and I'm rocking the mic, and then next, and we would do that, and it wasn't for any money. It was literally just for like whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember coming to a few of those, like just as a spectator.
Bro.
You know what I'm saying? Just as chilling, because like I was like, wow. Like,
we had a
all,
boy.
all of these. I'm over there. I'm just fresh out of high school, I think, and like everybody, not fresh out of high school. I'm about 19 years old. So I guess fresh out of high school. But I'm over there, and I'm just kind of like. I was just kind of building my actual hip hop character, like my character, putting my, finding myself in that. And then I'm seeing all these guys like freestyling and doing all these bars and shit. And I'm like, I gotta up my game a little bit here. You know what I'm saying? But it was motivating, and also it was also a lot of fun.
And it was real freestyle back
Yeah,
then. See,
yeah.
I
None of
think
that written stuff.
The other day came up on,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't really mind someone popping out a written, because I did that, but
but it's not freestyle.
So maybe I'm a little biased on it.
When
but
they renamed freestyle
Yeah.
and turned it into bars that you're doing that's not on the beat that you wrote it for, that's when I got a little upset, because they wanted to separate it and call that one off the dome,
Right.
and call another one freestyle. No. Freestyle, as far as I knew growing up, was I'm sitting there rapping about something to do with you, looking at your hat. Your hat says true, and I'm looking at the
There you
lamp. For me, that's what I prefer off the dome to be called freestyle, because you practice a verse, Now, in that same vein, I think that what my man Black Thought did for 10.5 minutes was not freestyle, but it is still fire.
Well, look.
Fire.
Yeah.
It's fire.
Yeah.
Fire.
See, when it comes to freestyling, people don't want to say they don't want to be corny, say something corny. But like, I embrace that. I'm like, I'm gonna say corny bars, but I'm gonna say them in a way it's gonna sound hot.
Because it's freestyle.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's
or make
come
somebody laugh or something,
Right,
like, because that's a part of it too. Like I feel like sometimes when like people are freestyling or whatever, they're afraid to make like a joke or joke around or whatever to make somebody laugh. That's a part of it.
And that's why it became the written thing, because nobody wanted to mess up.
Yeah.
You get the one chance on flex, you don't want to mess up, so you rehearse and you practice. And I understand, I get it. But it set the bar then so that everybody else who really does freestyle has to measure up with writtens.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. Some people can.
Some people can.
Some people can.
Some people definitely can.
Some people can.
Yeah. Especially when they got like a good streak going too. It's like it's almost unstoppable.
It's
for
like
them, like, to get out of it.
surfing.
You get in the zone.
Like
Just get in the
surfing.
zone. You just get in the zone, and you're like, I'm gone.
You're
I'm
like,
on.
and the room knows. The room knows when you're going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yo, you know what the dope thing to see, to actually be. It's been so long since I've actually seen that in front of me now. It's almost like I'm a little bit disconnected from it now. But from what I remember by seeing that is that when like sometimes in a cipher someone will just you say every few bars or whatever, and then it passes along. And typically that's how the cipher would go. But then someone would just it's
Go
like,
over the
it's like-
bars.
it's like the hip hop holy spirit comes over them. You know what I'm saying? It's like they just keep going, and everybody just lets them go. You know what I'm saying? Just like yo, just
Stay
kill
in
it
that
because
zone.
you're bringing that vibe in, and then that hypes up everybody else. That's those are some of the best times
One of
ever.
the best freestyles. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, people I know that do that well. You know, shouts to my man Graham.
Yeah, yeah.
Graham
Graham.
is really good at
Yeah.
freestyle.
Yeah.
He was with us back in the day doing the thing with us.
Yeah, Uncle Evan was really dope at it. I
Yeah.
remember one time we were getting ready for a show, and we were just freestyling amongst each other. And Evan like walked up. Uncle Evan walked in, and he was just like not even a rapper. He was just doing it. I was like, bro, you don't got an album out? He's like, album?
Right.
I just do this just with my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I just thought that was so magical. Like freestyling is really, it's not just about the music. It's really about a person connecting to what's inside of them.
Yeah.
And expressing that. And that to me is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
In all my acting classes, I teach freestyling because it's that moment of like, you know, just like a stream of consciousness.
It's the jazz of it all. That's
Yeah.
why I talk about with this band and how we work with the songs are always going to sound different. When you're playing jazz, it's like you all know what's supposed to happen, but the
But let's-
genius of being
yeah.
able to work in real time. So I think when you you know all your words so well that you can start rapping. And I'm here in Chicago, and Chicago's like, because you included them in real time. That kind of thing. That's what I think the freestyle when it's best.
Yeah, it definitely has its purpose when that's being. It's almost like and it's novelty to a lot. I mean, maybe it's more novelty now, but like you said, like if you're mentioning a certain state or a town that you're in, and you're just naming things off, or like when you I don't know, I can't remember. I remember growing up, I watched Supernat. You know who Supernatural
of
is?
course we know
He was like one of my.
Supernat and
I was like,
Juice?
yo, yes, Supernat and Juice, yeah, Supernat and Juice. And I found out this is when Napster was around, and this is when I was downloading these freestyles, yo.
You just put a date on your age a
I
moment
did,
ago,
bro. I did, I really did.
Because you say Napster, they don't know nothing about
Nah,
that.
these youngsters don't know nothing about
Nothing
Napster,
about
man.
Napster.
That's where I got. Man, that's how I found out about Supernat.
That's how I learned about a whole lot of people. I
Yeah.
access to albums I wouldn't have had access to.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, this guy freestyles a whole song. I mean, according to I believe it because like there was many times where he did live events where he's naming off phones or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if they maybe they
bro.
didn't. I don't know if did they have cell phones? They had cell
They
phones
had
back
phones,
then, right?
but they were like,
They were the Nokia
it was a
bricks.
tiny little
Yeah.
screen. You
with
couldn't
the
see
tiny
anything on
screens,
there.
yeah.
But I've seen him do things that I picked up and started to do at parties in
Yeah.
my time, where he would have
I was
somebody.
like, I want to be like Supernat.
He would have someone pointing to words in the room or brands.
That's
and
what it
he
was.
would just throw them all in rhymes.
That's what it was. Yeah, that's what I saw. I think that's one of the first freestyles I saw from him, and that's what drew me in. I was like,
And-
wow, this guy's amazing.
And because he did it so
Like he was a genius.
Like, it hurt feelings.
Yeah.
And that-
Yeah.
When you can do that,
I was writing, and I'm like, I'm not even that good now. You know, I'm not even that good at writing right now.
Yeah, I'm like,
But it's like any muscle, like you know, so you work
Yeah,
that
you
muscle.
work that muscle,
You get
yeah.
better at it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I mean Eminem is who he is because
Yeah,
he
yeah.
really. I mean, that's what he got in the game on, right? He won the freestyle contest. Actually, he got second place.
That's
or
how we
whatever,
got
right?
found out.
That it was.
Yeah.
So he won the
That's
thing,
how we
and the
got
dude
found
got.
out.
You know what I'm saying? Like what happened?
I believe he lost.
He got
twice.
second. Right. The other guy. Who was the guy that got first?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You never hear about him.
I don't know.
Unless you go
Well,
research
no,
it. Unless you go research it,
Yeah.
he won't pop up.
It
But
wasn't Benzino.
M took second place.
It was.
It was not.
It was not Benzino.
Because we was talking about that earlier.
Oh, man.
Because the thing that came up the other day. But
Yo,
you know,
yeah. You see the interview?
I went.
Yes.
I went from the crying. I watched the crying interview to then going to see the other stuff. I didn't know M still. We thought nail in the coffin was it. It was like
Yeah.
it was a nail in the coffin.
I never thought
He
that
made
this
a-
would ever come back up ever again.
Bro.
I thought this was like, all right, just stay with the.
Let it go, dog. It's over.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear your grandfather rap.
I mean, it was
Bro,
done.
It was
Yo,
done.
yeah, it was done. It
that
was
was
done. It was
Literally
done.
nailed
Like
the
a
coffin.
Yo,
decade
that-
ago.
what era was that? That was the DJ. What's his name? DJ.
Not Who Kid.
Not Who Kid.
Envy. Not Envy.
K-Slay.
Not
Was it K-Slay?
No, Green Lantern. Right?
Green Lantern.
Oh,
Green Lantern.
Green Lantern tape.
Yo,
yeah.
when they were popping out every single one of those things, like there was like two. I think there was like three of them, three records.
we
It was
were on
Eminem, D12, and it was G Unit, and all of them. The Game, all of them were on there, just murdering all
Killing
of the
people.
Oh, and they even had D Block on there.
Yo, listen, they got Everlast. Remember they had an Everlast
yeah,
disc.
they had an Everlast
They
disc.
got everybody. I'm not gonna lie.
Like-
shut down the game,
Bro, that was my favorite little beef era right there. Like
and
it
yo,
was so cool to watch that happen.
I love the debates now when people talk about M in a degrading way, and I'm a fan.
What, like now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
People still hate it. It's weird.
Yeah,
It's so weird.
I try to listen to the other side, and I'm like, he doesn't even have an argument.
They don't have an argument.
Yeah.
Like if you
Dude's dope.
understand how people work the English language, if you understand craft, how hard it is to write,
But
how
see,
hard it is
that's
to
the thing.
multi-syllabically
They don't
rhyme.
even understand the
They don't
English language
understand
themselves.
the formula in the first place. They're literally like, well, you ain't got the bars I like. Or
I'm like, but do you see what the man is doing with the English language alone? Alone, period.
like just what he's doing language-wise. And then talk about extended metaphors. Slim Shady, hotter than a set of twin babies, in a Mercedes bed with the windows
and
down.
then the musical balance.
I mean, he's just
And then
compounding
the
an image.
mathematical music balance. It's sick. I've taught Eminem bars to students because it's an art. It's not just walking up, and I get it.
It is.
Some people can walk up and just spit, poetry or bars, rhymes. Just feels good. Is good, and I'm taking away from any of those folks.
But
what this man does,
craft.
shows that he doesn't just come up with a verse and that's it. He goes over it. He memorizes it. He learns it. He breathes it in. He dissects it, and then he makes it even better. Like he doesn't stop. That his tenacity is puts him in the top 5 of rappers just alone. It's top 5 of like people. Like that's who I want my children to be like.
Not to mention, he did how many albums now?
I don't even,
like
I don't even
20
count.
albums.
I don't even count.
It's important to mention, not one N-word. Just for the record, because of how
Well, unless if you bring up that Benzino.
we
incident.
won't go.
Okay.
Well, he brought the old tape.
Yeah.
Again, we can't go and judge the young,
Sure.
broken-hearted Eminem for being hurt. Whatever. He's come back and
Sure.
made up for that in spades.
And he even
what I'm saying?
said that. Like that's the great thing about him. He was like, "Yo, my heart was broke. A black girl broke my heart, so I did some dumb shit. I said some dumb things."
Yeah. And that's unfair to go back and try to bring that up. That's that you can't dredge that up. By the time he's done so much and acknowledged the culture,
He's a father. He's a father.
He's done enough to repay that moment,
Right.
in my eyes, in terms of for the culture, what he's done for it. There'll be no 50 Cent's career if Eminem didn't scoop him up when he scooped him up. Like, that was real. Like, he had a buzz. He was doing his thing. But what put him over the edge was M took a
shady,
bet on him. While the industry was like, we ain't messing with that guy. He really is getting shot. He really is having problems. And the white dude was like, yo, this dude needs a shot.
Yep.
So we wouldn't have
I think that
power or empire and all these other things that this dude did if M didn't put this cat on at the right time he did. So shouts to the dude for doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think there's a old documentary or an old interview where Eminem's talking about this. He was like, Dre took a shot on me, and then he's like, I'm paraphrasing, but something along the lines of like, I had an opportunity to take a shot on 50, and that's what I saw on 50. So 50, and then 50 brings in G Unit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And brings in the Game also. I don't think the Game was a part of G Unit yet. The Game was a separate entity. Then he became, and then that beef or whatever. And then you had Young Buck and Tony Yayo and what's the other cat? Lloyd Banks.
but he's paid it back, is what my point is, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Any
Well, the ripple effect too.
any shine that Royce has gotten past that time when they were together is largely because of his affiliation.
Sure.
And Royce is dope. Royce is dope.
Royce is great, yeah.
But Royce made that bad choice of like, Dre called him up like, I got M here, you should come over here too. And he's like, no, I'm gonna do another thing.
Yeah.
You know, dude needed money, whatever it was at the time. I think if you read the story,
Yeah.
essentially he signed for like near $1 million or whatever it was, you know. to do this other thing. But what did it do?
Right.
You know, in the end, it is what it is. But that's like, M is responsible for a lot of movement in hip hop, a lot of change.
He was even behind. He was even behind getting Slaughterhouse up too.
Come on.
But he stayed out of the group. That was
Shady Aftermath.
Shady Aftermath was
Shady,
behind it. But that was Royce, Joe Budden, Crooked Eye, and
not Vinny Paz.
trying to remember, dude. Crooked Eye, Joe Budden.
Wait, was it Vinny
Royce
Paz?
the 5'9". No, that wasn't Vinny Paz.
That wasn't King Los.
There's a third. Juelz and
Juelz, I think, was down with it. I
Juelz.
think
Yeah,
it was
Juelz. It was Juelz.
Was it? Okay.
Juelz was with Dipset, and then he would.
Joel's
and then he would
is
down.
Joel's Ortiz.
Joel Ortiz.
Joel's Ortiz.
Not Joel Santana.
Yeah, I was about to say Santana.
Yeah,
I was like, no, that's not him.
Joel's
Joel's Ortiz. That was a super team in my opinion, right there.
They got beef right now, though. They're not really.
Yeah, I know. I was watching that. I was like, why, man? Like,
I think they got beef because they know they should have got paid.
Shout out to us not having group beef.
that's amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
all-
yeah.
A lot of you, we had not even talk about it. We had a little moment, but we've
No, it happens, though.
Nothing that's
yeah.
publicly acknowledged and shit.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I'm saying? So
yeah.
we good.
Everybody, especially if you acknowledge each other as brothers and family and stuff like that. You're gonna have that. You're gonna have those moments, and if you get through them, that makes it more stronger. In my
We
opinion.
take care of each other, man. And I think the thing is, it's family, and that's what's like. I really have been committed to this idea of United Soul Alliance, the group making it. Because, as Infinite, I do a lot of things, bro. I do a lot of things. And there's I don't make a ton of money off of rap currently, right? It's like one of the million things I do. I do that mostly for the love, right? If you want to make it, I perform for this week, right?
Yep.
Auditorium full, like 500 kids, 1,000 kids that one day. Like, I'm performing in schools with a whole other catalog of material. But this particular thing with the hip hop, with the group, like, I really celebrate what we've put together because it's hard to put stuff together. One of our albums, we had to do, it was like a year or two, but literally almost 2-3 years of back and forth with Tiger Moth, this DJ from Australia. Met this dude online, and he's like, his stuff is dope. He does like a lot of instrumental music, so he also makes beats, and so we've been chatting and stuff, and then he was sending stuff. I lost the computer, lost a bunch of vocals. I'm gonna send the vocals. He lost the thing. I lost those beats. I got and over the course of 3 years, we made this album. So it's hard fought, and that's why I want to share this stuff with the world. I think this band is a way to expand and share it. With the traditional 2-3 guys and a DJ. It's been done.
Yeah, it's been done.
It's been done. Nowadays,
It can still be done, but I get what you mean.
no, we should still do the elements.
I get
there.
what you mean. There's nothing, like I said, there's nothing better than a live band, in my opinion. I love a live band, like just because the concussion of the drums, you can feel it. You can feel it more than you can feel it out of a speaker. In my
And you can
opinion.
hear the bars.
Yeah.
For what it's worth.
Yeah.
For what it's worth. When it's
You
a
got
band,
those breaks. You got those breaks.
You can hear
in
the
there.
bars, and our drummer, dude, he definitely like what he does is he'll actually like drop out or cut, and you're left with you in the bars.
Yep.
Or he'll go down to and
When
come
you're
back
not
in.
expecting it.
Now you're not expecting it. It wasn't planned,
Yeah.
and so you need to be aware that your words was where he's making room for. You know what I mean?
That's another thing too. Like I've had the opportunity to do that at least a handful of times to have a live band or a live drummer and a live mostly just a live drummer. But when they kick it, you gotta be on that time. You know what I'm saying? You gotta catch that, and that's a talent in its own, in my opinion. Like when you're doing live stuff like that, because like there's always that trick. It's a different sound. You know what I'm saying? You're not hearing the speaker. You're just hearing your voice and you're hearing the percussion and all that stuff. It's dope. I love it.
Shouts to MCs not rapping over their own vocals.
Yeah, shout outs.
Okay, so I have to clarify what that means because I just got into this.
Yep.
So that means, folks, it does not include rappers who have a vocal track, a vocal backing
For the hook.
that has like a hook in
Yeah,
there or
right.
punches
Or
a
the
couple
ad-libs
words,
or something.
ad-libs, stuff like that.
It's literally pressing play on your track.
I want to say it. I want to say it. Look right into the camera. If you get on stage with your album and you press play on the track and you rap over it like rap karaoke, you're a hobbyist.
You're a hobbyist.
You're a hobbyist.
Yeah, the rap karaoke is not cool for me, especially sometimes because I'm listening
Yeah.
and I go, "Oh, you could have done this," because I can hear the person performing, but I'm hearing it and it's being mixed with the recording. I feel like either press play on the recording and let me check it out.
Yeah. Just play the song if that's what you want to.
Don't. I just can't,
Right,
bro.
I
You know.
Yo, for
Well, it gets
real.
and it also gets muddy. You know what I'm saying? It gets really muddy.
It gets muddy.
That's
Yeah,
the
it's
first
really
thing
muddy.
they don't realize. Like the recording, your vocals were recorded with the
It's got layers and
different
it's
levels and
mixed
layers.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
mixed,
yeah.
and the microphone is not necessarily the same levels. So I just hear blah, 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 blah. That's all we hear, y'all.
But it's a crutch. And if you go anywhere, I say it's in poetry too, or in anything, if you go to the show with the crutch, you're gonna need the crutch.
Yeah.
If you go without the crutch, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You'll grow.
Yeah.
You'll have a bad show, and you'll like next time
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
rehearse more.
now,
Yeah.
that's the
That's
second.
what I mean by with
yeah.
auto-tune thing. When you make the thing easy,
Mm.
then people don't grow to be strong enough so that when, oops, power died, the DJ's not working, all I really have is my voice. I still need to captivate this audience. Most of these dudes can't do that.
Right.
Pause real quick because again we have to address the hobbyists in the room.
The hobbyist.
Not in the room. I'm sorry. The hobbyists that are paying attention.
Yeah.
Because I kid you not, in a discussion I was having about this topic yesterday, a person said that they don't remember their lyrics
Yeah.
and was defending playing the CD because they didn't know their lyrics. I'm gonna stop right there. To any person performing in front of people,
Who wants to get paid?
no. As a performer, whether there's a microphone there or not, whether there is tangible payment or not, if you're performing original pieces, if you're performing original pieces,
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Yo, I've been wanting to use that for the longest time, yo.
that's it right there. That's it. If
Shout out to Bill O'Reilly.
can't even take the time to try. You know what? I've written a lot, and I sometimes flub some of my own lyrics that I know very
I've done
well.
it many times. I'm not afraid to admit
sometimes
that.
I freestyle them, but I'm making the effort to learn them.
Because it's a respect for your audience. You know, it really is about
That right
I
there.
rehearse this daily. I practice this daily. So when I see you, dear audience member,
I actually value your time, and I appreciate you coming to see me perform.
Come on.
So I will
Right.
put on a quality show
Right.
as best as I can. I will not say, no, I didn't memorize my lyrics, so.
you'll have to hear this recording.
We're gonna play this track
We're
for
gonna
you.
play the track for you.
I'll sing over it.
I hope the person who was in that discussion is listening to this podcast right now, because I did not respond to that person directly. I actually reached out to someone else directly because I couldn't. Because see, I honestly I root for everybody.
Yeah.
I want everyone to achieve.
Yeah.
You know, whether even, for example, there's a fellow, I don't know if you heard of him, his name is Drake. And I've said things about him in the past. I still root for him. I do. I root for
Does he
him.
rap over his?
No, he doesn't actually. Believe it or not, he doesn't rap over his lyrics.
But he does use the autotune.
He doesn't write most of his bars.
Okay,
Oh, he doesn't write most
okay,
of his
I
bars.
should not have used him as an example, but I root for him. That's what I'm saying is I root for folks even that are messing up. But I want y'all to stop messing up. Just like make that a thing. Make that a thing. Or like, yo, like people go out these days and they mess up bars. Like, please. Like I
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
True story. I watched Nas one time.
Cheers, gentlemen. Cheers.
Salud. Thank you for having us, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Get me all fired up now. I'm ready to talk about this.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I went way.
No,
sorry.
this is
Got me fired up.
good because, like, I mean, even when I first started out, pat on my back too. I gotta put a pat on my back too, because I started performing when I was like 13, 14. First show was at AS220. First actual live show was at AS220. I did, my high school or whatever, junior high. But AS220, when they were like AS220, when it was.
Shout out to AS220 when it was AS220.
Yeah. A venue.
Yeah, when it was
Not
a
a restaurant.
I don't. Yeah,
It's a vegan
right.
restaurant now.
Yeah. Oh, is it? They don't do any
I
performance.
think they still have the opportunity.
No,
I know they have
perform.
that. They still have the other showroom, right?
Yeah,
they have that room, and
Alright.
pretty much
I haven't been there in a really
anybody
long
has the
time.
opportunity to sign up. I think you guys got to put it in. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a dope concept. I shouts to them for all that, but I understand.
Yeah.
You don't like vegan. I know you want meat. I got it.
No, but I was saying I saw Nas perform a couple of years ago. Well, years ago, we'll say. And this was well after Nas was obviously the great performer that he is. And there were parts in his performance where I won't say he didn't know the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was trying to encourage the crowd to sing along, but he was dropping out. And I was like, damn, Nas. Like,
Was this one mic? Was it that one time with one mic when his sound?
in Providence. You heard that show? You heard that show?
No. Wait, this was recent?
This was no.
This happened years ago.
Yeah, years ago.
Okay.
Nas
hasn't been there
Yeah,
in a while.
yeah. It's had to be at least 13 years ago.
Nas, you haven't been here in a while. Come back to Rhode Island.
It's been about 13 years because my son is
Come on.
13. Nas, my son was in the belly. I made sure that he came to the show for that.
Not since the N album, right? Was that he did the travel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing that, and I was just like, But I took that not as a critique of Nas, but more of a lesson as Phoenix, a performer. Don't ever get on stage and be like that.
Right, and you can learn what not to do sometimes from people.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
So it's okay if you get up on stage and you're not confident in your lyrics. It's not really okay, but if time comes and you're not 100%, just get out there and do it.
You have to get
don't
past
crush.
it, man.
Yeah.
If you do not slip and fall on your face, you never learn. You know? I mean, you got like your babies, right? They put them in the little thing and they're scooting around with the little wheels. They ain't learn how to walk. They learn to walk when you take them out of that, put them down on the ground, and take
hit the
a
ground.
couple of steps, boop, bump my head. I don't want to bump my head again. I will learn the balance. I feel like they want the results. Everybody wants to be rich and famous. Everybody wants the thing without the work.
Process. Yeah, they're afraid of the process.
Without like the pain of it too.
Yeah.
Without the
What
pain,
does
the struggle
$1 million
of it.
worth of work look like? What is $1 million worth of work, bro?
Yeah.
You know what I
Probably
mean?
a lot of sleepless nights,
Come
a lot
on.
of
Stop playing.
failure, a lot of dead ends.
Stop
you know what I'm
playing.
saying?
Stop
All that.
playing.
You know what I mean?
That's like whack promoters is part of that.
Yeah.
Not getting paid for some of your shows is part of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Not knowing where your next
Rival
meal's
beef
coming
with
from.
other crews is part of that.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got there and someone's trying to cut your show in half because of da-da-da-da. You got to, you know what I'm saying? So I'm really proud of the team for pushing through. You know, the show we finally did, for a year rehearsal, we did the show and the venue owner moved it. He was like, no, it won't be here. It'll be over here. And I'm like, oh, this other spot isn't suitable, but we're going to push forward. And then we're performing in this compromised space as it is. And now in the hall, there's a whole other band. And that's leaking into our thing. But what I'm proud of is that we pushed through all of that. Like, we kept going. We kept rocking. And people who's in the room with us were feeling that fire. Like, it was whatever, we here. So you have to go through the struggle in order to earn the reward. You ever climbed a mountain before in your life?
Yeah. Hiking and all that.
How do you get the view without climbing up?
Right.
You could watch a video if you want, you know, but the feeling
But the feeling of
Only
actually
way to get
of
it
getting up there.
is to go up the mountain.
Exactly.
And once you get up there, you got to come
I
down.
did this.
Yeah.
well, I pause and I go, I did this.
Yes.
I look down, I go,
that's the point,
I
yeah.
did this. I did this.
You can't get it without doing that. You cannot get there without having to go through a struggle. Nobody gets to the top without a story.
And shout out to all the promoters who stopped booking shows with like 15 performers on them. Even though I did recently see one with 21. That's called the
21.
festival. It's a festival, bro. We're not having festivals inside bars between the hours of 9 and 2 a.m. It's not a festival. Stop playing. Yeah, man. That's wrong. Like, it's wrong to the performers. It's wrong to the audience. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, that never made sense to me. Why? Like, I think 5 acts, even that might be put. I mean, I guess it all depends.
But 5 is a lot, right?
5 is a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it all
at
depends.
20 minutes a pop.
Yeah, 20 minutes a pop. Right.
You're already, you know what I'm
Instead
saying?
of getting like maybe the main event and like two other events. And then and then that you spread that, you figure out how you spread that out for the whole night for what, 4-6 hours, something around there.
I saw Rage Against the Machine. Actually, Bad Religion opened for the Beastie Boys. Rage Against the Machine was the headliner. Those 3 acts.
Just 3.
And that was one of the best shows I've ever been to in my life.
Yeah.
And it was like that. It was like,
if you want a bunch of artists, you're right. It should be at a festival.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Outside
crazy.
somewhere or something. During the summertime.
It's just that,
You know what I'm saying? Should not be inside.
Between the hours of 8 and 2
Unless you're in
a.m.
a stadium or something like that. But I don't know if you would do. Would you do a festival in a stadium? Maybe.
hopefully it's changing. Hopefully the model is changing. I think,
Yeah.
even locally, we acquired these band members, we arranged it, and they're telling us stories about how much they really get paid to do shows outside of us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they're like, yo, they don't really be paying. You know what I'm saying? So you see a list and you see 3 bands on for the night.
Right.
How much is the venue making to cover a 6-piece band,
I'll tell you right
a
now.
5-piece band?
Nothing.
Right.
The promoter is making
Nothing.
his
The
rent money.
promoter
is
has-
making his rent money.
You
And
understand?
his beer money.
You
That's
understand?
it.
So the promoter is in a space where it benefits them to put more acts in to make more bucks. But the artist isn't looking like
Like the ticket thing.
Yeah.
Like
They got rid of it.
Yeah.
I stopped.
Okay. So
I don't know if they said I stopped doing it.
yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I stopped the whole
I
idea.
never
you want
liked
me
it. I never
to
liked
come
it. I never liked
to
it.
perform, but I gotta set.
Nah. I did that once or twice, and I'm like, man, fuck this. I'm not doing this. This is a waste of time right now. Why am I? I'm trying to make my set and all
I
this
know
stuff.
what my skill
I don't
set
have
is.
enough. Right.
I know what I do well.
Right. I don't have enough time to be going around selling tickets.
Putting on another hat for you. I did it twice.
Although I did
for the
do
same
it one time for
promoter.
the Method Man and Redman show, which never happened, unfortunately, due to COVID. Shout outs to COVID. But
yeah.
that was going to be at
Well, it used to be loopholes, right?
Strand. It was going to be at the Strand.
Oh,
This was like
yeah.
2-3 years ago.
Yeah,
3 years ago.
loopholes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2020 was
Yep.
where that show was going to
Red
be.
Meth, yeah,
But it
that
never
happened.
happened. I was very upset.
Yeah.
I sold all my tickets. Man. And I would have been able to meet them. You know what I'm saying? That
Right,
would have been
yeah.
dope. That would have been dope.
We saw them over
But-
there.
Yep.
But
Yeah, Redman, you got
Yeah.
my CD. You still got my CD, Redman. You know you got my CD, Redman.
Yo, you ain't gonna be disrespecting Jersey like that.
I love Redman. But no, you know it's cool. And shouts to Redman. I love him. One of my favorite MCs, honestly.
Yes.
Um,
And one of Eminem's favorite MCs.
definitely one of
right.
the
So that's what I'm
greats,
saying.
for sure.
It ties in.
Him and Red, yeah.
What I really appreciated about him in that moment where I could have, because I was a radio station DJ. You know what I'm saying? I was there, doing my thing for BSR, and I could have come in with the little recorder. Like, hey, I'm here to get a quick little interview with you in this capacity with this little badge on and stuff. But I was like, nah, I went as a fan. I went as a fan who was like, yo, bro, you're my favorite MC of all time, bro. Like, yo, here's my CD. He's like, I said, I don't want no review. I don't want nothing. I just want you to listen to it. He's like, I'll listen to it, bro. And he puts it in his coat. And I'm like,
Nice.
in my head, I know.
Yeah.
But I appreciate the moment. I appreciate the moment. Redman's going to be like, yo, I'm tired. I'm going to hop on the bus. I'm chilling. Me and Red going to be chilling. He'll forget my CD.
Yeah.
He'll forgot all about it. Broke it up on the CD. Whatever it was. I mean, he probably gets 20, 30 that night. I'm not. But in the moment, we had a respectable, like, yo,
Right.
I'll listen to it, bro. And maybe he listened and he hated it, to be
Yeah.
honest, because it was probably my younger stuff and it wasn't dope. But, like, I really...
But at least he gave you that respect.
The
Yeah,
moment
yeah.
was fresh
Yeah,
for me, and
that's
I
dope.
respect all day the
That's
moment
awesome.
that he, because I could have tried to go in on the radio station angle, and I would have had access, right? He would have been like, but I was like, nah, I'll just dapped him up and just, yo, I just want you to listen to it, bro. And then whatever, you know what I'm saying? If he
Yeah.
did, he didn't. It's all good. I respect him for that moment.
I had the opportunity. I did. I met Killer Priest, 2013ish or no, 2011. I think it was. This was when we were running. We were doing Showcase Sundays over on Sunset Bar and Grill.
Yeah.
Did Nabi bring him in?
No.
Okay, because Nabi was a lot.
No, I didn't know. I don't think I knew him until a few years later, until like a handful of years later.
I think Charles brought him in for that.
Charles Brown.
Charles might have. Yes.
Charles,
yes,
yeah.
Charles might have.
Yeah.
What was he running? He was running
It's Sunset.
I remember Sunset.
Yeah, Sunset Bar and Grill.
We had,
Charles had this thing.
Yeah.
The hell was it called? Something Audioholics or something like that? Was that
Audio Liquor? Audio Liquor.
Audio Liquors? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was back in. I don't know if he's still doing that, but that was back
Liquor
in.
Entertainment.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yep.
Charles.
I don't know if You know what? I don't know if it was him. I know the owner. Shout out to Jen. I remember her name.
Yeah. See, I don't. He knew her.
Oh, and it was no. I'm sorry. It was what's his name? Yasin.
That's who Rhyme Culture.
From out of Rhyme Culture. That's that we I think we collaborated
at the helm of a lot of connections.
Yeah, he was out in Newport. He did a lot of stuff. I don't know if he's still running that little spot out in Newport.
Not anymore.
Drew's doing different. Him and his brother do different things now.
Jimmy's no longer exists.
Jimmy's no longer exists.
Yeah.
But Jimmy's.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jimmy's is gone.
Huh.
Only when I have these conversations do I realize how much. Because look,
wow,
we haven't.
Yo, shout out to DJ Ruckus too.
Ruckus, DJ Kellen.
I just remembered right now, man.
He's one of the first people to do this right here.
Yeah,
this thing.
I know.
Start a station and have it going on. Music Fiend.
I still got text messages from him telling me to pursue a lot of things, music. And then when I heard that he died, man, that was. Shout outs to him, man. He was such a good dude. So full of like his heart. He had such a
Ruckus. He has two different Ruckuses.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about Ruckus. I'm talking about Ruckus.
From down there. Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Rest in power. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. I can piggyback off of that.
Yeah,
I remember
he was such a good dude, man. He was such a huge heart, man. Sweet dude.
I still have messages similar to yours. This dude. Like, I know that, like, when I first came out on the scene, I used to go to a lot of shows, and I'd be wilding out, supporting everybody. But, yo, Ruckus.
Yeah, he was always supporting.
Ruckus came
to
everything. Ruckus came to one of my plays and pulled me aside and was like, yo, bro, this is dope, man. I'm so happy that you're doing this.
Yo,
keep doing this.
Pizza challenge. Yo, he would do this thing called a pizza challenge, and essentially, like,
there was a place called Pizza Challenge.
Nah. He had connections or some relationship with the pizza place just up the street from Jimmy's, and you know, literally, we'd finish the show. He'd be like, "Yo, pizza challenge." Literally, it was get there as soon as you can because it's about to close, and he knew them, so it was like you get there thinking it was gonna be free pizza, but essentially he was trying to drive traffic to them. So we go in and be like, "Oh, we gotta buy the pizza? Okay, cool."
It's like all these high rappers, like,
I guess I'll have 2 slices then.
Like, okay.
I'll buy these 2 slices.
Yep.
And I'm like, all right.
But that's how Ruckus was. Like, Ruckus was a really good
He was a
dude,
conduit
like,
for connection.
Yeah, he was. Such a good dude.
Yeah, man.
Sweet dude. And I was really proud of him for all the work he did near the end there where he had lost all the weight. He was talking about Irish moss. He was one of the first people to really get into talking about like healthy living,
healthy,
alkaline. Like he really came with a lot of it. Where he got it from? It was from he started the Zulu Nation. He had started one of the local branches.
That's right.
And then he got all this information that he was sharing. No, that's rest in power, man. Rest in power to that man.
Yeah, cheers. Salud. Skål.
Prost. Slancha.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Just, you know, that's an interesting thing that you guys mentioned. I was thinking about, you know, shouts to other Ruckus as well from Music Fiend. But
I don't want to get that confused.
You took me back.
He's still around.
You took me back to my man's, and I respect.
Right. Because he did Music Fiend. And shout outs to Ruckus on that,
shout out
too.
to them, I had some tracks up on Music Fiend. That was another interesting time.
Music Fiend was the shit. Like when it first started, I was so excited about it. I was like, yo, we're on TV. Where people could see us on their phone and their computer and whatnot. I was like,
it was a big deal.
Yeah, it was a huge deal. I think I mean, in my opinion, I think he could have went in so many different. I don't know where it is right now, as far as like what they're pushing out of there. But man, there was so much opportunity for. And I think there still would be opportunity. Is it still on? It's still on, right? He's still running.
He's
that?
got to have it in some
Some
I
capacity.
haven't looked in a long time.
I think in
while.
some
To be honest.
capacity it still
Some
exists.
capacity.
Well, we used to tune into that regular. Cause
Yeah,
it was
me
just
too.
Like, this is our
Petey
people.
Pegleg, man. Shout out to
Petey
Petey
Pegleg.
Pegleg, man. Ah, the names are coming back right now, man. This is so cool. This is
shout
why
out Petey
this is why y'all need to
Pegleg.
be here.
That's like guy.
Yeah, man. Petey Pegleg. I haven't
up,
talked to
Petey?
him in so long, but what up? But peace to
Oh, my
him,
kids,
man.
my students.
He was running the show out of there. Him and Character.
Yes.
Him and Character, yo. Him and Character. Shout out to Character.
Yeah.
And Chris the Great came out of there. I think.
Chris the Great.
Chris.
Messy Tie.
Messy Ty.
Yeah.
Oh man, Johnny Armani. Shout out to
Johnny
Johnny Armani, man.
I'm like, yeah,
Man.
another big name.
Rest in peace, man. Sheesh.
Oh, bro, man. You start
Yeah.
looking back at who we've lost and who's no longer here, man.
I had such a good friendship with him, man, because like he was such a good motivator. Like when he started doing Flipside Entertainment, the all the ciphers that he was doing.
Yeah.
And when he started beginning that, and I was like, and man, it was just like his ideas were so dope. But
crazy.
but the best part about him was like when it came to certain ones, like he let me like co-produce on some of them. Not co-produce, but like co-direct. Like, hey, I want to run this idea by you, Johnny. What do you think about this? Like, yeah, let's run it. Who do you want on it? Yeah. And he let me do that. I was like, dude, this is yours. You're good with that? I was like, yo, I trust what you want to do. We had that good friendship, man. Like when I heard that, man, like it was bad. It was bad. That shout outs to his family. His brother Dan is cool as, his whole family's like beautiful family. His mom's a beautiful woman, very kind hearted, his sister, all of them. They're all shout outs to them. But I can't talk too much about his whole case and all that stuff. But man, he was such a good, in my opinion. I know there's back and forth stories with people's opinions on all that stuff. But by this time you gotta let that go.
He was there that. Now we want to talk about it again.
Yeah.
We was there that night with some other stuff went down.
Yeah. I know a lot of
Living room.
Yeah. Living room's one of them.
That
Yeah,
living
yeah.
room. Oh man, that was big deal.
But yeah, man, he was such a good dude. It's crazy. There's a lot of dudes that are coming to mind right now that have I think I'm trying to think right now that have either been here, gone now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Time flies too.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Oh yeah, it does.
Wasn't Token part of our scene?
Token was.
He's out of Mass, right?
Oh, yeah.
He was out of
but
Mass.
Token-
But he would come in and out.
Token
come in and
opened
out.
He
for
was
us.
at the living room that night.
Token opened for us down at not Ocean Mist. We were down at the venue that was we were down in Galilee at that venue one night.
Whoa.
And he opened for us. And I remember I hate to say this. I remember saying this kid's gonna make it. Cause he was a kid. And he was raw.
He was like
And
16,
he had
right?
all
Yeah.
this energy and excitement.
he's
And I was like, this kid's nice. He's nice. I like him.
Shout out Token.
Shout out Token.
Charles Token. Yep. I never met him.
I don't know if
but
he remembers
I-
us now.
Yeah, I'm saying like, it's been so long, but I remember being in the same spaces as these
yeah.
dudes. And it's, just listen, man. Life. Frankie Riptide.
Frankie Riptide.
See, Frankie.
Oh yeah. Frankie.
Frankie, yo.
Here's
I used to think Frankie Riptide didn't like me. This is back in the black rap eras.
Okay.
I didn't think he liked me. And then he came up to me one time after I spit on one of the open mic things and was like, yo, I remember this. He was like, yo, your shit's dope, man. We should collaborate. And I never did. But I was like, that was like back in the days with Watts and them. And I was just like, it was, because, Providence at that time, everyone, it was like every day we ran into these people. So they'd be like, yo, Phoenix, I got a beat for you. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'll see you later on. And I wish I had taken more time to really build with some of these cats, especially Watts, obviously. But, like these, it was like whatever, like whether, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to see you next Thursday at the show or whatever. So we'll rock again then, whatever. But yo, Frankie, I used to think, it's funny, that was like the one kid I thought I literally had beef with. And then like he just came up to him and was like, yo, your shit's dope. Like,
Well, see, so my story with Frankie was, it was the same night
Bring that mic.
that I was really hanging out with y'all. Yeah, you remember? Okay, Century Lounge, there was a hip hop battle, right? So at that point, I think I was still teaching full time, and I was trying to ease out of it. Like I did like a full year of In the Trenches, and I was like, yo, I can't finish these 4 years because if I want to be an artist, still, I got to switch up a little bit and do part time. That's whatever. So one night, from leaving my Mr. Marlin role and going to go rap, running to these cats, we're hanging out, doing the thing, and there's this battle. So I'm like, I'm gonna sign up, whatever. I couldn't really get in at first because it was like the list was closed. And then out the corner, I see Sage, and he comes over. Yeah, he's good. Let him in. He's like, cool. So I sign up, and I'll never forget this thing. I wasn't really coming to battle like everybody else was practicing. I just signed up because oh yeah, I'll do that. So I go, and I don't forget who this dude was. I ripped right through him. I don't know who he was, whatever it was. But then the next dude was Frankie Riptide. So Frankie gets up. And oh my God, he says, because I had a fro at the time. You never forget like a battle you lose, right? So, so he goes, because I had a big old fro and I was tall. He was like looking like a tall Arnold Drummond, and I was like,
right. I forgot about that.
And again, I ripped through the first dude. I don't remember who this dude was. Shouts to whoever that is. I went right through him, like, nah, whatever. I'm still feeling a little tipsy, and I'm freestyle, whatever. And Frankie hit with that line, and the audience was like, ah! And I couldn't think of anything funny to say because he had his clothes looking fresh. I couldn't diss his gear. Couldn't we talk about him?
That was Frankie. Frankie had
I was like stuck.
He had
I couldn't cap on his
kit.
I couldn't cap on his whack anything. I was like,
because
Frankie, I didn't know him personally to get at him. Yeah. So I literally had nothing after he hit with the Arnold Drummond because I was thinking like, I should have cut this fro. but and then like 2 weeks later, this Frankie's on BET winning the freestyle cipher.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
And I was like, I got beat by that.
I was like, he's not even like, how are you on there? You're not. I don't know.
Nah, bro, he moved. Everybody was him. Who's the other?
What's his name? Flawless.
Okay, yeah,
Flawless. Shouts to him too. I battled him at one point too.
Flawless. I always like Flawless was a dude who like I would see all the time at shows, and I'd probably, I hate to say it, I would leave by the time he rocked, and vice versa. But then like, I don't know, for whatever reason, I started seeing him rock. I was like, yo, he's kind of nice. And then I started seeing him like on like social media and shit. I'm like, yo, this dude's kind of nice.
You know what's dope? One time it was out in New Bedford. One of the things that that Graham and Dirty Dirty put together out there, and it was one of those that had the words on the screen. You freestyle these 3 words, whatever.
Oh yeah.
Somehow with Flawless, I don't make it out. But then we outside, just chilling, like laughing, joking, and there's a cipher, and I'm just like going in on some bars, whatever. And Flawless is like, "Yo, why don't you do it inside?" I was like, "Shut up."
Yeah, I hear doing on the bars.
Jokes, but that was a compliment. That was like, yo, this is dope. Why didn't you bring it in? Because inside I was in the format. And I was a little nervous.
Shout out to all the talent that Rhode Island has. Like, yo, my man, not just Chachi Carvalho, but shout out my man Chachi Carvalho. But this young Chach. Dreamville Chach, my man. Shout out to the Waterbury, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to all these young folks, doing their thing. I don't want to step out the way. I want to step in the light with y'all, But yeah, definitely, we got tons of talent out here, y'all. And we also have some ladies that can rock too. We got some women who can rock too.
Manami.
What?
I stole it.
Did you see? Wait,
what up, Manami? I shouted you out. It wasn't him.
I didn't even get a chance. This nigga just all up. Yeah, like I'm saying. She was just rocking too.
Yes, my homegirl.
She was just rocking. Yeah.
I just discovered her about a year or 2 ago, I think. Somewhere around there.
Shout out 992.
Medusa Black.
Medusa Black. Doing it, But yeah. And of course, Thomasina and Becky Bass holding it down.
Shouting them all out.
I mean, if you gonna go, you going to Becky Bass, you were the singers now.
I'm just saying, I got to shout out Becky and Alexis Lee. Go. And Becky Bass and Thomasina. Yes,
Alicia Pina, so sorry.
And Alicia Pina. Yes. There are many more of you. We love you all.
I was going to say, Muffin.
Oh, yeah.
Muffin's not in town anymore, but she's forever been one of the strongest MCs, female-wise.
I think she's Ohio. I don't know if she wants that public, but
Okay.
It's all
You
fair
just
now.
gave it out.
I just gave it out now. Sorry, man.
Where is Muffin?
Sorry, mother.
Callie was dope. Callie Honest and Play had a moment
Yes,
there.
yes,
She was doing the
yes,
thing
yes,
for a
yes.
moment. You know.
Yes,
But
definitely.
no, we go remember
Swan
Lane.
Naughty.
Swan,
I think
of course.
I think he's also out of town too, right?
Swan's one of the best
Yeah, yeah.
MCs that it really has ever
Period.
been
Yeah,
in
yeah.
this town.
Period.
Super humble too.
To be honest,
Super
really one of
humble.
the best.
Very
Yo,
humble guy.
yeah, let me. Okay, quick Swan's story. I was entered to do it was a hip hop showcase over at J Woo, right? And, you know, I was feeling myself. You know, I had my little Mos Def like vibe going on. I went over there, I rocked some shit, did some poetry, I did some songs, and then Swan Naughty came on right after me, and he did the song Two Steps, which is still one of the dopest fucking hip hop tracks. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Dopest freaking hip hop tracks out there. It's okay.
It's
Yeah,
too
yeah,
late.
yeah.
It's too late. You went.
All right,
It's too late now. I can't.
We'll do it live.
I can't believe
Do
it.
it live.
Yo, honestly,
Fucking thing
ain't
sucks.
Yo, that is my oh my god, like that when I first saw that, yo, that's Bill O'Reilly. I didn't mean to cut you off in the story. We'll go back to it. But Bill O'Reilly, when he flips out like that, it's the funniest shit. And I was like, yo, I gotta clip that for the
So you
podcast.
clipped him up and
I did that. I purposely did that for not for this podcast, but I mean it comes.
but in general, that's
yeah,
a
Yo,
great
shouts to True for sampling Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah.
That's like a Drip Champs moment.
Seriously.
Oh, do I have that song?
I hate you for that. Shout outs to Be More 7 too.
Be More, absolutely.
Another dope rapper,
Shouts to Be
female,
More.
holding it down. Just put out a dope track out in Africa.
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
Sorry.
But I do want to real quick, everybody out here, download the track Two Steps
Two Step.
by Swan Naughty. Change your life. You're welcome.
Amen.
It changed mine. I'll never forget. He did that song after I performed, and all I could think about was, I want to go and get that song. I got it off of Napster. It was on my what was the thing called? SoundCloud? No. Yeah, SoundCloud, right? No, not SoundCloud.
SoundCloud came later.
What was the thing that
LimeWire?
right before Facebook?
Yes, LimeWire was
Because
one.
Napster,
Too.
then LimeWire.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
what was the
Oh, you talking about Black Planet or something?
something?
MySpace.
MySpace. Yeah. Just keep
You
talking.
made me date myself here.
Keep talking. You get to it.
You searched on Alta Vista?
Alta Vista.
You are banned from the show now.
The other one was
That's
Magenta, I think, too.
Yo, my girl.
Excite, the Excite search engine?
Yeah.
My girl hit me with an international one. I was like, what the are you talking about? I was like, I don't know what that one is, babe. That was some freaky shit you was on. I don't know. It was international.
That's hilarious,
But
yo.
yeah, I that was my MySpace theme song for a hot minute. Two Steps.
Two
yo.
Steps, okay.
That's how dope Swan is.
Check that out. Is it on?
Yeah.
Is it on Spotify?
It's got to be on something.
If it is, I might even be able to include it
Two
at some
Steps,
point.
Swan Naughty.
On this anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, super humble dude. Always been a very humble dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Very knowledgeable too. Like just having like genuine conversation with him. Always. Yeah, like.
Believe it or not, he's a person that and this is funny. He's a person that I wanted to do acid with. We just never had the time.
Just never had the.
We just never had the time.
Just gonna throw that out there like that.
That's what I did. I remember the night I was
we're
like,
live.
I was like, yo, Swan.
Fuck it.
I said, Swan.
Got to do a psychedelic one time in your life. I
was
guess.
whoa. I've done plenty of psychedelics, and we had a conversation. I was saying I would never trip again because I have children now. I was like, I'll never trip again. I was like, but Swan, if you want to get together and have a writing session, I'd be down to do a couple tabs. I'm not gonna say what Swan said, or nothing else, but I put out there what
This just took it to a whole level.
That opens the pineal gland.
Like, Swan Naughty's a dope MC.
It opens-
You ever tried him on
acid.
Go on some DMT trip.
Are we talking about any of the topics that you had on the list tonight? I really feel like
I'm sure acid was definitely on the list. All right.
I mean, we
Acid
could
was on
listen.
the
We could
list.
go. This is
This is your show.
This might.
This is your show.
I may title some things in there. What wants to talk about, but it really is where the conversation
he
just goes.
said the state of affairs are
state of
going
affairs
on
are-
in America right now.
LSD.
Do it live. Fuck it. fucking thing sucks. No, sorry for anybody that's listening. I apologize for the language.
Yes, if you were looking for an intellectual debate or conversation. Oh, today is National Debate Day, by the way.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
National Debate Day?
Debate Education Day. Yes.
Debate, okay.
Yeah, so
Debate Education Day.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, there was so we're probably just gonna go down another rabbit hole here, or into a rabbit hole rather. I wanted to talk about like culture. Has culture in hip hop? Do you think? Excuse me. Do you think the culture of hip hop has changed?
Oh, of hip hop.
Like-
We gotta talk about what hip hop culture is in the first place. I think the problem with hip hop is that they got to this sort of ubiquitous phrase, the culture, doing it for the culture, without properly defining what that was.
Right.
So then now, I mean, post Cat Williams and his, sort of exposure of stuff we kind of already knew and kind of already felt. But it's almost like he said it and now it's being exposed. What is the culture? If everything that is built off of, I thought I told you that you won't stop, bad boy, shiny suits, all of it is based on the stuff we're finding out now.
Well, see,
I don't want to be part of that culture, bro.
Right. But
that's not what.
I don't think that. All right, here's what my view.
There's so much stuff that's.
Take that. It just hit the whole. It hit different now, bro. It hit mad different. Take that.
Then you see the Meek Mill pictures and stuff.
Yo, shout out to Meek Mill.
Yo, he wants
shout out Meek.
He wants to beef with fans because everyone's responding to it. It's
Meek
like, wow.
is going crazy right now.
He is, man.
Honestly,
I think he's nervous.
If anybody's got a cell phone,
he's nervous.
If anyone's got a cell phone or something, let me holler at my boy. Yo, Meek, just take it down, bro. You don't have to respond to shit. In fact, don't. Stop messing with academics. He ain't a real one. We're real ones. This room and you, Meek, are real ones. When you're a real one, you don't gotta tell nobody. Fake. You know what I'm saying? When you're real, you know you're real.
When you're real, you don't gotta prove you're real.
Exactly.
Right? And that's literally it. Like, you don't gotta
Meek's
prove
doing a lot right
anything.
now. And to me, I could care less whether or not the rumors are true. It's not my business. I don't give a fuck. But Meek is doing so much that, like, I'm like, are you okay, bro?
You're doing too much, bro. But it is that. Like, so when people are guilty, so you like, when you start looking at all the things, bro, you're looking at, like, the interview, that quick little aside, that little moment they keep replaying, where it's Cassie and it's Puff.
Yeah.
And they're interviewing Cassie, and he's like,
just the name Puff.
he got that look.
I'm sorry.
Puff.
I'm sorry.
P. Diddy.
And we're not talking about the Magic Dragon.
Oh my God.
Woo! But you see the look, his eyes go right to her, and he can slow it down. But you see, they ask her a question, and he like has that look. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I feel all this stuff. So then I'm looking at something to do with the rabbit hole about this thing, the culture.
I wasn't even trying to go here, but
I'm looking at it.
But it is the topic. It is the topic.
Dame Dash interview.
It is the topic.
Because
yes.
it's deep. So people forget that Dame was dating Aaliyah.
Yep.
And that R. Kelly then married Aaliyah. And then lots of shady stuff was going on.
Wait, R. Kelly married Aaliyah?
Yeah.
Where you been at, bro?
I didn't know that.
They were
For 15. So something happened where age ain't nothing but a number. Dude, look at, and so
my mind's telling
they
me
show you the
no.
cover of the album, and you got her up front, and then there's this blurred out R. Kelly in the back. Bro,
what the fuck?
So all of that, right? So Dame Dash has issues and beef.
Bro, she wasn't even of age.
Right.
She wasn't even of age.
I'm sorry to put this. I'm sorry to share this with you.
No, I'm. Yeah,
you can go back
you're catching
and
me
find
up
the
right now.
article, and they'll tell you when it went down.
She was not even 16, I don't think.
15.
So they found a state.
Bro. That dude's been a pedo the whole damn time.
That's what Dame was putting out. Dame was like, yo, when he and Jay started going south was when the thing started coming out about R.
And Jay met Beyonce.
And so
was introduced to Beyonce.
There's stuff. So Jay was like still affiliating himself with R. Kelly, who Dame had beef with because of what R. Kelly did to Aaliyah. And so what Dame said, and he just was like zinging it out.
The whole throne shit, the album they were supposed to do.
The Aaliyah was a sacrificial lamb for all of that nonsense. Like something went down industry-wise that Dame's not really cool with, and he looked at Jay differently, and Jay's probably was like, yeah, I'm rolling with the Illuminati. I'll see you later.
Yeah,
I'll see you later, bro. I'm
gonna
go be sitting at the table here with these guys, and Aaliyah might have to go. You know, whatever it was. Rest in peace to Aaliyah. But like the whole thing, how it went down, Dame hinted at some real suspicious stuff that it opened my eyes. I was like, whoa, I didn't remember that he had a relationship with her, and therefore would have issues with R. Kelly, and therefore if Jay's doing a whole album with him.
So wait, Dame also had a relationship with Aaliyah?
Yeah, after, yeah.
How old was Dame?
After they got married.
But
no. He got with her when she was of age.
Of age,
okay.
Yeah.
But she, I think again, I'm quoting off of what I saw.
Right.
But he said that she referred to him as a bad man. You know what I'm saying?
And just recently, a company was gonna force, was it Jay to sell his shares?
No.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Dame owes $823,000 to somebody, and the court ordered him to sell his Rockefeller shares in order to be able to pay off the debt. Now, $823,000 is what he has to pay off. I don't really know what the thing's worth, but Jay offered him $1.5 million for it, which he's like, hell no. He's angry.
He said no.
He mad. So then there's a bunch of other stuff going on where like Mason Cameron have a show, kind of like yours.
Yep.
They got a little podcast going on.
No.
And so they were joking about, hypothetically, if they bought the shares from Dame, they would have, at that point, control over reasonable doubts. That's all Jay wants back. So, I mean, not all, but like, that's probably, who doesn't want their seminal album back? You know what I'm saying? So, it's
And
just
that
like
was a dope
somebody
album,
holding on to
okay?
Nas's Illmatic. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
Reasonable Doubt was dope. I'm not gonna lie. Jay came out swinging. Was a dope MC.
Reasonable Doubt's a dope album. It is his Illmatic. It is his version of like
it
whatever
came out at the height of the golden era.
Yeah.
It propelled him up to the top. You know, people knew who he was. That was a great album.
So
This is like the deep state, but the hip hop version.
Yo, it's crazy because it's so nuts, bro. It's so big that you're like,
It's
wait
crazy.
a minute. Aaliyah's plane thing is over here. You think Aaliyah just a simple story. They were leaving from the shoot, Rock the Boat, that video that she shot where she's standing on the platform in the water. That video breaks my heart every time, right? They shot that video, and then they hop in the plane to go off to leave, and the pilot was like, yo, you can't be putting all this equipment on ASAP, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, we have to get out of here, we have to go. Whatever, it's a story, right? And it went down because they overloaded the plane.
It was after that video too?
yeah.
Wow.
That's the video she went to shoot.
So it was one of the small little Cessna.
So small they overloaded it in order to get everybody off the island, whatever, blah, blah, blah,
it crashed,
and
yeah.
it crashed. But you look at it further ahead, and Dame's talking about her being a sacrificial lamb for stuff, and somebody else inserted that Beyonce wouldn't have her career if they hadn't killed Aaliyah. Like, after someone's gone, the story can be reworked, and that's the problem about it. People are gone; they can't tell their own story. They can't really like fix the details that are weird in our brains,
Right.
You know,
Right.
and that's why I don't like it.
I know that there was weird stuff that was going on with, you know, Aaliyah and even Left Eye was I don't know if she was a part of that, but I know that she also had story about that stuff too, and even her death is a little bit
Did you
questionable.
watch that video? Her documentary.
Yeah.
Last Days of Left Eye. Ooh.
Yeah, it's shady stuff. That shady stuff. A lot of shady stuff.
They knocked her off, and they knocked off Dr. Sebi. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, Dr. Sebi, it's a different. I feel like Dr. Sebi made a lot of enemies.
No, but that was
Because he spoke the
directly
truth.
what she was doing.
Right, yeah,
she was
yeah.
directly using
Nick,
his technique.
what's his name? Nipsey Hussle. Also,
Nipsey,
that's a weird conspiracy too. And I think it is connected because the guy that shot him was like in communication with the FBI prior to hitting him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just happens that
he was going to be a part of the. He was going to do a documentary about Dr. Sebi too.
Yep. Yes,
and
he was.
supposedly Nick Cannon's supposed to take that. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if that's a rumor. Or what.
Also, allegedly, Dr. Sebi actually has evidence of healing people.
No, he went to actually go and prove this in
he said he's healed AIDS and all that.
Of course,
yeah.
And they couldn't refute his evidence because people who were healed came forward and testified. And what he did was, I mean, this is again, I don't know everything about it, but what I looked at was he went to, was it Congress or something? It was either Congress or the Supreme Court, something where he had to really prove it in front of people. And he brought his reports. And what they did was the people would go and see their regular doctor and get the official medical doctor's assessment.
Right.
And then they'd go to see Dr. Sebi, and then afterwards they'd present it, and they would send them back to the official doctors of the system, and then they would be like, yeah, I certified that it is gone. I don't know why. And so that's what he went to the thing with. Not 1, not 2, not 50, but a lot of cases.
Yeah, it was a lot of cases. He testified.
Yeah.
He testified.
He testified. But again, like everything that is significant, they shove it under the rug. The United States government was found guilty, among other entities, of killing Dr. Martin Luther King.
The CIA is
I'm not making that up.
The CIA is directly involved.
That was proven in court, but it wasn't announced everywhere in the news.
It's not
so
announced.
you go look it up. And Snopes, which is like a husband and wife team who have no authority on the truth at all, but they established that a long time ago. They will tell you.
The CIA has also been found to have worked inside during Malcolm X's
assassination.
The assassination.
Yes.
Direct involvement.
Absolutely. But that's the stuff that
JFK, RFK, that whole era of MLK, Malcolm X, John F. Kennedy,
the whole civil rights.
It was like 4 assassinations almost consecutively in the same.
United States government authorized. It was implicated killing people who were against the official agenda.
Yeah, official establishment.
That really happened.
They were calling people commies.
Yeah, people. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That was the
Well,
thing.
Red Scare.
I think one thing that led up to Malcolm X's death, aside from Martin Luther King, was that first of all, both of them were starting to join each other's ideology. They may not have agreed on everything,
right?
But majority of what their movement was working towards, and they were in communication with John F. Kennedy and communication with Robert
they're about
Robert
to
Kennedy.
unite and cause all this change.
Malcolm X had just returned from Mecca, realizing like, okay, look, there's we do have some racial issues going on, but there's white people here that are praying to the same God. There's black people here that are praying to the same God. There's Asian men that are all this. You know what I'm saying? He's figuring all this out. So he comes back with this. All right, we are dealing with a problem here, but we cannot divide each other on this ideology and all that stuff. So that's what definitely got him killed. Yeah, also, what was the guy there? He supposedly he had something to do with it too. The Elijah Muhammad.
Okay.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Well, Elijah may
have had something to do with it.
I think you could say Beard Rooster.
Elijah Muhammad is not his real name.
Right.
And he used to.
Yeah.
And he used to exist as, was it Calypso something?
Yes, I'm trying.
Right.
Yeah,
so he was an artist who is reportedly connected and is CIA, which is why he isn't touched, which is why he can't be touched. And so I've been present.
I think he's dead now.
Elijah Muhammad?
I would think so. He was like, wasn't he old then?
Farrakhan's still alive.
Farrakhan's alive.
Oh, sorry, Elijah Muhammad.
Elijah was already.
I was on Farrakhan. That's why I'm looking around. Sorry, I was looking around to Farrakhan.
Elijah Muhammad was
he
was old then.
He's gone.
I'm pretty sure.
But
Farrakhan was underneath him, wasn't he?
Farrakhan represents that energy and that.
So wait a minute. Are you saying that Farrakhan might have some CIA?
I think that it's likely
that he had a hand
that if
in the
Muhammad
assassination.
had it, and then
He had a hand in it.
Come on.
Well, you could say that I was there where he said
Allegedly.
He said it
Allegedly.
wasn't at the thing at the Million Man March 2 when I was in DC and we were there, and I mean I was up close.
Mm-hmm.
I sat where Snoop and them was sitting. That's where it was at. We made our way up, so we're in the section where I don't know, a million people. We up here. So I was there, and he talked about that. He addressed it. He was like, people say that I was somehow involved in the killing of our brother Martin, and he's like, So what he said was, when have you ever heard of someone being this vocal, and not being taken out? But that's what I was saying, because I was like, Martin got taken out, and he was saying milder stuff than you're saying. Like Martin wasn't saying we should, kill Whitey. Saying like, but he comes very harsh with his criticisms and his stuff. I sat there feeling a little cringy because he's like, you come out with the devil's daughter, and then my wife is white, and I'm like, brah, 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 brah. So he was being much more vocal and much more harsh than Martin, and they took out Martin, and I'm like, yeah, bro.
Yeah,
why didn't they take you out? So there's something about it that says to me,
Yeah, because even Malcolm was starting to change his tune on that. Also, he wasn't even focused on like towards the end.
He was trying to unite with
yeah,
Martin.
Because
they had conversations that were good. He went to Mecca, had a thing. He was like, "Yo, there are white, blue-eyed."
And here you
people
got a Christian and a Muslim
about to unite.
I'm about to unite. You understand? Like that is unheard of, especially right now. That
They
is
can't
unheard
do
of.
it in the Middle East,
You
but in
understand?
America,
It was about to happen, and they was like, "No."
If you gave it enough time, Malcolm would have probably had turned.
100%.
I think. And I'm not saying I'm not saying that's the important part. What I'm saying is the unification.
Yeah.
That's unheard of.
That was-
Christians, Jews, and Muslims uniting is unheard of.
Guaranteed going to unify.
And that was what was scary because the people who they call the Zionists,
Yeah.
who are they really? They're not Jews.
The Red Door.
Right?
The Red
Who they
Shield.
call Zionists are these other people who have usurped the Jewish identity in order to facilitate American.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
elitist
'Cause
ideals.
I've got some stuff to say about that because one of my best friend. He's Jewish, and he hates when I bring Zionists up. But I explain to him, I break it down because he's a proud Jew. I understand. I get it. I get it.
There's a difference between being proud of your heritage and being an extremist.
Sure.
And
I wouldn't say he's an extremist, but he's definitely proud and he's concerned for his family and all that stuff. But
and respect to people who
right. The conversations that I've had with him over 20 plus years, especially most recently with the recent times, is that I explained to him, I was like, when people say, when you hear truthers talking about so-called Zionists, they're not talking about the Jews. They're not talking about the Israelis. They're not talking about the Hebrews. They're not talking about the people that are in the Bible. They're talking about Luciferian, Molochian deists who pray to these Baphomet and owls and whatnot and child sacrificial things.
You understand?
Who impersonate themselves as Jews that take on this leadership of Zionism. They are not they are not the true they are not the true. They are imposters. They're imposters. Yeah,
They're imposters.
Exactly.
They're closer
so when you
to
break
the
that,
so-called Illuminati than they are to the so-called Jews.
So Rothschild translates to Red Shield, and that translates to, I think that comes back from Germanic. I want to say Germanic, somewhere in Germanic. No, I'm sorry. I apologize. That goes more towards the I was going to say Kardashian.
just passed.
Khazarians, the Khazarians, which is basically part of. It was a part of Russia at one point.
Yeah.
I might be getting it mixed up here, but the Ottoman Empire, the Ottoman Empire. That's pretty much the general area.
The USSR. Area,
yes. Yeah. The general area, and much later it becomes USSR and all that stuff. But anyway, the Khazarians were these. They were pagans. They were child sacrificers and virgin sacrificers, and they were just bloodthirsty on war and whatnot. If you look, it's a little bit of muddy history because a lot of stuff gets burnt out, or the victor is always the one that writes the history. Right?
Yeah.
So But you could find the lineage and all that stuff. Anyway, these people, Rothschilds and Rockefellers, these are family bloodlines that exist for at least
millennia.
1,000, 2,000 years, and they can trace themselves back all that way far. But anyway, when you brought that up, I explained to him. I was like, look, when I'm saying Zionist, I'm not talking about Jews. This is when I have the conversation with him. And most people who are involved and know about Khazarians, because then you get the anti-Semitic stuff. It's like, oh,
it's like,
no. It's like, no, dude. Not everything's anti-Semitic. Okay, not everything's anti-Semitic. When someone's trying to find the truth, you gotta kind of level with that. Even if you agree to disagree, you got to try and level with trying to find that truth. It's like, are we trying to just be okay with these people in power that are trying to gear all of these wars? You got Palestine and Jerusalem at war right now, and then that's heavy. That's because I have conversations online about that all the time, and people are posting like, listen, there's legitimately real people dying on the Gaza end,
real children,
and there were real people that died.
And that's where I stopped, because
and there are real people that died in Jerusalem also. You know what I'm saying?
Children on both sides.
Yeah.
It's not forget the adults and the people, and not as part of the aggregate. But for me, there's a really great scene in one of my favorite movies, Children of Men. Right?
Oh yeah.
Oh great.
When they're coming through with the baby, and everyone just stops.
And they're like, what's going on?
But the minute they go on, it starts again. Like that to me is very symbolic. Please. But right now, it's very strange to see so many children die and for people not to actually stop it. Like, it's almost like we don't know how to stop it anymore.
No, listen.
We don't know how to stop it.
So for
Like,
facts.
I once, this is crazy. Remember the scene that was in the Arab Spring when they had the kid and he was throwing a rock at the tank?
Yes, I
Right?
remember that.
Very famous photograph. I always thought the way to stop any war was to have a line of pregnant women just stand arm in arm in arm. But then they started killing them too.
Yo, that's
to me the lowest part of humanity. Like the lowest part of humanity, because I never understood why in America here, when the kids got killed in Connecticut, that whole thing, the Sandy Hook, dude, like after that many kids got killed, why didn't we just stop whatever we're doing? Similarly, with these, how many children? Thousands of children on both sides dying. Why aren't we stopping it? What we're saying is it's okay to kill kids. What we're saying is, like, why are we not all booking flights and going over there right now to go help?
Well, one thing to jump off that, one thing that I thought was very interesting was when and there's also a difference, not just with Zionists, but the Israeli government and Israeli people. There's just like
there
Hamas
is a difference. There absolutely
and Palestinians.
Yes.
There's a difference. So I just want to go ahead and drop that out there. But
Right.
what was killing
absolutely.
me was that a lot of the
there's Americans and Democrats and Americans and Republicans. Just for
right. What was killing me was that a lot of the propaganda coming from the Israeli government was like, Hamas is raping babies and doing all these things, barbaric things that, we know that in war times you try to make the opponent look less human. But while that was happening, I'm reading actual reports of hospitals being bombed.
Come on.
Children being killed. And I understand war comes with certain prices. There's collateral damage. I get that. But when you are aware that what you are currently engaged in is killing children, you're the fucking barbarian.
And that's unfortunately what happened. Honestly.
Look, from the Israeli government perspective, yes, your job was to retaliate against what happened on October 7th. I don't disagree. But there's so many different ways to retaliate.
I think, because this is the conversation I've had with my boy too, and I was like, look, I just, they invade, they acquire this plan over 2 years. Iran's backing it and all that stuff. You got Hezbollah on the other end.
Listen,
the IDF needs to be more surgical. I think they just need to be more surgical in how they're. I don't think that you're going to be able to avoid all casualty, but you can minimize it to the point where, like, because here's the thing. Hamas has been known to hold up in hospitals and hold up in schools. Like they have it's been known. If you go back in 2005 when they had their one of the wars that were going on in Gaza and Lebanon,
they're doing the school buses.
They would. So they're brutal. That organization, that ideology that is behind them, in Iran. By the way, their leaders are living in like Qadar.
Palatial estates, nowhere near.
Right. They're not even near that, and they're gaining all these millions of dollars. But besides that, Hamas also oppresses Palestinians, like actual Palestinian people. Actual Palestinian people don't even want them in there. But I'm not. But with that said, I'm not justifying the fact that you should send a missile into a building that's going to wipe out 5 or 10 Hamas.
And hundreds of
housing project.
I personally don't agree with that, but
I don't condone that at all.
I don't condone it either. I don't condone war as a feasible way to come to to come to an understanding between the people.
And that's
I just don't
really where I land. I land on all wars end now. And I've been doing the hashtag all wars end now because I'm just frustrated with this idea that human beings can't evolve. We can't evolve because there's too much money involved already. There's too much of an industry. There's somebody who is a 17-year-old boy who's signing up for the military because his family's poor as all hell and he's got to go make some dough. And he's going to go over there and he'll kill whoever to get to the place of security and stability. And he's going to do 4 or 5 years, whatever, blah, blah. He's going to save some money and come back and then get into the, he's shell-shocked now. He's crazy. He's not the same person because the conditioning we do, there is no, after all these centuries, millennia of war, going to war and warmongering, how come there isn't an exit procedure?
Right.
There's no exit procedure to unconditioned people. The people who were part of World War II still call the Japs,
right,
and still have beef with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the conditioning that is made for war to make another human being hate a human being enough to kill him. There's no deconditioning.
No. Why would they?
There's none.
Why would they do that? That's how. That's how Netanyahu.
That's a second
got into power.
Secondary story.
Here's the messed up thing. In my opinion, well, not even just my opinion, Netanyahu needed Hamas to rise in Palestine because he benefited politically in Israel. He still benefits politically in Israel because they are the enemy. He is a conservative, hard-right Israeli. He's like, yes, give me this wild liberal shit that even the Palestinian people don't want. The Palestinian people voted for Hamas because they had no other option at that point. They had no other option. Hamas played politics
by
with them.
Force too. Like Hamas does rule by force. Like,
100%.
They're the ones. So when so from my understanding, and people could say it could be a mixture of propaganda or it gets muddy when it gets out in that region. You know what I'm saying? But
100%, yeah.
Because if you go on Al Jazeera and their website, they are pro Hamas. And then if you go on,
because Hamas's start was to fight against the occupation of the land. So it starts off as a pure concept.
Politically,
let me finish this thought. Because when you go on like the Jerusalem Times or something like that, it's obviously it's more pro on the IDF side. So you can find the information. It gets muddy between the two, but. Israel does send money to Palestine, does pay their utility, from my understanding, and then when Hamas gets all these resources, they cut it off, or they'll take the food, or they'll take the water, and they'll definitely take the money, and their leadership takes the money too. So it doesn't actually go to the people. According, this is not me saying it, but this is what I'm reading. This is according to the reports between Al Jazeera and I think it's Jerusalem Times. I think that's like one of the main news outlets that comes out of Jerusalem, Israel. So what I'm saying is like when the Palestinian voted for Hamas or they vote for Hamas is like it's typically done by force. Because Hamas has the missiles, Hamas has the AK-47s.
They have the power.
They have the power.
And if you want power, you vote for, Big Bully, protect you.
Sure, yeah. And,
they have no choice, yeah.
I would say the Palestinian people got to figure out a way of how to, I don't know, overrun them somehow, but Right now, I don't know what they can do
But
because
right now,
because
90%
they're
of
trying
the
to run
people
to
are
a
starving.
Yeah, they're absolutely
90% of people are in
absolutely.
starvation right now.
And who's going to
And
feed
a lot
them?
of that,
Hamas.
besides
right?
the war, besides this war, a lot of that has to do with what COVID did.
Right.
They were
right.
already starving.
So-
a lot of these quote unquote third world nations like Venezuela. That's why we're bored. That's why we can go into the border stuff. That's why our border's getting flooded primarily is because these people are starving.
They're coming from
They're hungry.
all
They're under
over.
water.
They're coming from
Right.
Venezuela. They're coming from all over South America.
They're coming from Colombia, Ecuador,
They're coming
Venezuela.
from the Middle East even.
Yeah,
And
they're
yeah.
Oh yeah, they're coming from the middle. They're also coming from China too.
China,
'cause it's
yeah,
Chinese
right.
Chinese nationals. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on with the border too. If we want to jump into that a little bit, I do want to talk about.
I want to know
'cause
your. I know that you're feeling.
I know that I've sent you stuff. And you say they're not illegal immigrants, and yes. I know what you mean. I know what you're saying, but
it's a convoluted issue because
what's the other term?
Because
Undocumented.
Undocumented, yeah. Illegal versus undocumented.
And so let's start there, okay?
Yeah.
So my idea of this whole idea of borders on the planet at all, okay? I don't believe in it. I think if a human being springs up on this planet, no choice about it, the parent choice, whatever it is, was two human beings got together, boop, you pop up on this planet. You own this planet.
Yeah.
You own a piece of it. Whatever percentage, 8 billion people, you own an 8 billionth of the place because you happen to pop up without you. The rules, the laws, all these little lines of you live here, and over here there's resources, over here's none. That's bullshit to me. I think it's nonsense. That's what the problem is with this planet, right? Because if you ever fly anywhere, look at how much damn land we got. In this country, I drove 7,000 miles back and forth to California. Dog, there's land for human beings to live just on this continent, in this part of the continent. So for me, homelessness is fake. It's made up. It's set up and designed.
It's
right?
designed for sure.
Poverty, design. So for me, that's where I'm at with it. Like, I don't think anyone has a right. They do because of paperwork. Undocumented triggers me, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it's my fucking planet. I can go wherever the hell I want as long as I can afford it because planes cost money, trains cost money. But I don't even believe it. I believe more in the world passport thing, which, Yassine Bey got in trouble for. Like, it's your planet. How can the problem with the borders, and I'm gonna go take a piss and then you guys can go into it, but I'm gonna say to you, the problem with the borders, we act like we'll never need to run to Mexico and get away from something here. If we make our borders so airtight, we can't run to our neighbors when it's time to run to our neighbors. We act as if it's always gonna be good here. And that's the problem. You need to have good boundaries with your neighbors so that an emergency happens. Let me in.
Right.
We cool.
Right.
This is your last chance.
That was perfect.
If we create a border system where we cannot go back and forth very easily and help each other out if we need to, we're locking ourselves into this part of America.
I can hear that. I think that we need to. I think a big problem with the border issue is that we don't include our neighbors in this discussion.
Ooh,
we could take a 5-minute real quick. I could do a break. Everybody, we're gonna return in about 5 minutes. We'll come back.
Okay.
We'll come back and talk about this about the border crisis.
All right, cool. So I can text the wifey.
After this, there is no turning back.
You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This is a struggle for the survival.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And this will be our last chance to say.
Trying to free your mind. It is this feeling that has brought you to me.
At last.
No judge in U.S. history has ever told somebody what they can and can't say.
The whole purpose of the First Amendment is to keep the government the hell out of the business of speech.
Many of us had to be brought to the brink. A lot of us here are calling.
I can only show you the door.
We're waking up.
You're the one that has to walk through it.
Spreading a message. The world is changing every day.
Civilization is weird.
Time is coming. The train can't be stopped. It's already here.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This is a struggle for the survival.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth. Nothing more.
And this will be our last chance to say.
Trying to free your mind. It is this feeling that has brought you to me.
At last.
No judge in U.S. history has ever told somebody what they can and can't say.
The whole purpose of the First Amendment is to keep the government the hell out of the business of speech.
Many of us have these wrong beliefs. A lot of us here are calling.
I can only show you the door.
We're waking up.
You're the one that has to walk through it.
Spreading a message. The world is changing every day.
Civilization is weird.
Time is coming. The train can't be stopped. It's already here.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This is a struggle for the survival.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth. Nothing more.
And this will be our last chance to say.
Trying to free your mind. It is this feeling that has brought you to me.
At last.
No judge in U.S. history has ever told somebody what they can and can't say.
I just cut it off. We good? We ready?
And we back.
All right, we're back. We're going to be talking about, we're going to step back into the border.
Borders.
Yes, I agree that the border, that I don't agree in borders. The problem with that, though, because you said it too. You said it, that the problem right now is that nothing and nobody is in unification.
Right.
The people may be in unification, but these world governments and it doesn't even limit to itself to world governments. There is a deep state agenda.
Absolutely.
It could be dubbed Novus Ordo Seclorum, New World Order.
To have more
the great
on
Renaissance.
the money.
On the money. On the money.
Money and power.
In fact, if you follow the money, you'll find out who's who and what's what. And
Really?
you know what I mean?
Because if you look at what is the, I'm forgetting the name of the pack. APAC. It's APAC. AIPAC.
Yeah.
So it's that's really what's funding or what's led to fomenting this war. Like AIPAC is the biggest Jewish lobby, and it's all about not Jewish, but it's Israel. It's Israel lobbyists. So they are the Zionists. And they put lots and lots of money into the hands of lots and lots of politicians, which is why the United States is so silent about this. We're paying for it. Billions of dollars that we're sending. The weapons that are blowing people up, if you find an expired cartridge, you might find
a U.S.
We've
flag.
been funding
U.S.
the IDF.
Inc.
and so how different is this approach of they attacked us, let's wipe them out? How similar is that to 9/11? How similar is that to what happened at 9/11? Because for me, the same thing happened. 3,500 people died in this thing, right?
Yep.
And then they went and killed 30,000 and 35,000.
1.2 million Iraqis.
1.2 million in the end were killed. So that's not even. Right? You punch me in the eye, I punch you back in the eye. That's whatever, right? You shoot me, I shoot you.
Oh yeah, a
You
lot
shoot
of
my
them were
kid.
civilians. A lot of them were civilians.
So Biden.
And we were doing the same thing. I met a girl. This is with the Balkans, what else that was going on right there. Like this, there was in Croatia. There was a bridge. So this is so after the World War II had happened. There was like a lot of bridges all across Europe that were like rigged with mines. And she tells this story of a place in Croatia. Where they had this bridge, and this school teacher had gone over the course of many years and like would go in off hours, use a stick and pry these mines off of this bridge that was unused. And so then you remember the story, right? When they were going through this war, they went and it was one of the first times you ever heard about the smart bomb, right? the bombs that they can like control.
Okay, yeah.
So it blew up a bridge, and it was the first time I heard the term collateral damage, because this bridge that this teacher spent all these years prying off the minds of making it safe to cross again, was one of the things in the middle of it all. So like, that's when I realized that people, we're not connected to what's really going on. The average person is just, we don't think our vote or our tax dollars are directly affecting something, and we're so far away from it, right?
Yeah.
The people who are really controlling things look at other people as collateral damage. The AIPAC, they just keep throwing money at people to get politicians to vote their way to approve everything Israel's doing. Israel's a tiny, tiny, tiny country, if you will.
It's about as big as Rhode Island.
Come on, right? And so we're putting billions and millions of dollars into whatever they want to establish that state. But why?
Location. Because
location.
It's a very strategic location.
Location.
There's also, we also have to consider that there's a lot of artifact history. There's important things that are existing there that need to be under full control of these elite, quote unquote, elitist people.
Every time.
Are you familiar with Albert Pike, or are you familiar with Albert Pike?
Tiny bit.
So Albert Pike, when he came in the 1800s, he was the pioneer to bring the Illuminati here into America.
Yeah.
Albert Pike,
the Rosicrucians. Same deal. Same deal.
Yeah.
Go.
So that falls in line with it. But Albert Pike is known for writing 3 letters. 2 of them had already predicted World War I and World War II. This is prior to World War I. He had wrote a letter that, this has to happen. I don't remember exactly what was said. I could probably bring it up, but actually I'll try and see if I could bring it up. Okay. But Albert Pike, so he wrote these 2 letters predicting the First World War and the Second World War. And he also has a third letter that predicts the Third World War. And in this letter, he specifically says that the Islamic State and the Jewish state must annihilate themselves so that it would be, and I'm paraphrasing, but that it will be easier to take out the Christians and the atheists and the non-believers. Because what they want, and what I mean by they, I mean by these multi-billion, trillionaire companies and families who are behind it all, is that they want their God, which is
Moloch,
which is money, which is artificial, which is Moloch, basically Baal. They're all the same.
Names.
They're all the same. It's all the same thing,
yes, sir.
For the most part.
Yes, sir.
There is a Malachian deity and there's a Luciferian deity, and both of these are also factions of the same thing. And they fight with each other. And this is why we see a lot of land grabs. If you go into the Bible, you hear about Gog and Magog. Well, this is what we're seeing right now. Gog is, I think, would be America in the West. Magog is Russia, China, the Islamic State. So Albert Pike writes these letters, and I'm reading them. I'm going to see if I can. I'm going to try and do it while I'm talking at the same time.
I saw you.
You need to have a young
did a pod.
Jamie.
I need a young Jamie. So I did a podcast with a friend. I think actually I think it was my best friend that I did it with, and we were talking about that. And I was going over it, and as I was reading, I was like, because I had just read it for the first time when I read it, and it blew my mind because he's talking about that letter. If it's real, if it is actually what he wrote, it's depicting on what's happening right now. Let's see if I have it up. That doesn't look like it. Bear with me, y'all, because we are live
and direct.
Oh, the wifey hit me back. She's.
Gee, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. That's what it is.
We are going out on date night
Tonight,
yes. Just because it's just a GP.
I'm gonna bring that on screen for everybody to see too. So if you're tuned in, you can look it up on screen, but I'll read it out. I think this is it right here, or it's summarizing. I think what the third letter is. So it says the Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the adventure of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arabic world, and political Zionism, the state of Israel, it's in parentheses.
I love the way you say
mutually
political Zionist.
Political, that's important. Mutually, it says, I'm going to reread that. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arabic world, and political Zionism, the state of Israel, mutually destroy each other. Meanwhile, the other nations, one more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economical exhaustion. We shall unleash the nihilists and the atheists, and we shall provoke a formidable social cataclysm which in all its horror will show clearly to the nations the effect of absolute atheism, origin of savagery, and of the most bloody turmoil. This is his letter. I remember reading this now. Then everywhere the citizens obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries will exterminate those destroyers of civilization, and the multitude disillusioned with Christianity, whose deistic spirits will form that moment be without compass or direction, anxious for an ideal but without knowing where to render its adoration, will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer, says that specifically, brought finally out in the public view. The manifestation will result from the general reactionary movement which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time.
So
He's talking about revelations.
Yeah.
Oh, but you get into Revelations.
He's basically
he's talking about the book of Revelations.
He's basically talking Revelations. Like he's taking Revelations and perverting it. You know what I mean?
Which I want to just I'm gonna just throw a little quick little boom boom boom. Yo, people, read the Bible. I'm not trying, and I am a Christian man, and I'm proud of it. I'm damn proud of it. I think Christianity is the one correct faith. Why I believe that is because of my personal relationship with my Savior Jesus Christ, which I encourage everyone to have.
Amen.
Now that being said, read the freaking Bible, bruh. I was just telling you earlier, I'm in a Bible study group right now, and I'm reading the book. I'm actually right now in the book of Chronicles. It's an Old Testament book for those that don't know.
First or Second Chronicles?
I'm First Chronicles right now. And right now it's going through the history of Israel. I just read First Kings, which is the lineage of the kings of Israel. Chronicles is now talking about the time from the period of the exile, going right along and explaining certain events. And like, you can choose not to believe it. Historians have proven it to be accurate. In fact, history books are used that part of the Bible as a basis to prove history. So it's not the big, deeper, religious truths that you have to swallow. This is the truth. And it's exactly what's happening now. It's what's been happening in our world since, you could say even before World War I. You could talk about chattel slavery. You can go way back. It's all right there. It's crazy, yo. Sometimes I get really excited. I love to read anyhow, and it's well written.
I'm excited to know this right now.
But
I didn't know that I didn't know. I had no idea, man. That's awesome.
There are so many different matter of fact, it's real simple, y'all. Y'all got one of these iPhones. You
the blue app.
The Bible app. The Bible app is right there. It's right there. It's simple. You can there is a Jamaican translation in patois.
Yes.
Yo, I love listening to it. It's just like, yo, Jesus, yeah. And it's the whole Bible in patois. So you can get any translation you want on this show.
I got to get the patois. I need that.
Before we leave, I'm going to play it.
Big up Jamaica, man. I need that.
But just even if you are feeling that you're leaning towards atheism or you have some hang-ups with the whole Christian world, whatever, that's cool. It's cool. I got tons of them too. There are many Christians that have hang-ups with them. And we are not wired to understand the mind of God. So take that into consideration. But read the books.
Yeah,
read it.
There's a book I'm checking out now called Sacred Nature. And she's just talking about the power of myth and how myth is not just a bunch of silly stories. It's a attempts at trying to explain natural phenomena or a historical events and things. So myth is not to be taken too lightly. So for instance, you know, and some people do. No offense. Some people look at the Bible like a kind of myth, right? These are metaphors. If you're really focused and you're really on point, you might be able to do the equivalent of walking on water. So whatever, you look at it however you want to look at it. But when you look at like Revelations and they say that the moon will turn to blood. Now, scientifically, they're looking at the moon now, and there's a large amount of rust that's coming, and it's showing up red in the thing. So when that spreads and that becomes, maybe that's a cyclical thing, right? You know, everybody, the Mayans, everybody had this like cyclical stuff happening. So if the moon periodically gets to this place where there's rust and stuff that happens in it, what color will it look like for us?
It's gonna look red.
It looked like it turned to blood. So you don't say the moon will turn to blood literally, right? Turn to blood and then drip out the sky and fall, and we'll all fall in our faces. But the idea of these ancient peoples looking at the moon at this certain time of turbulence and seeing it turn to blood, turn red. In this time, things happen. You look at like the Mayans talking about these Baktuns, right? Because we were all scared about, oh my God, the Mayan calendar.
2012 is coming.
We start over again. Right?
Right.
You look at like, I mean, all this stuff ties in, man. You know, the area where we live right now in North America was once frozen over and the poles were not. And then they find all this resources and all this stuff beneath the surface. And oh my God, beneath the ice, there's all this gold and diamonds. We can't wait to get it. And then a rush to get there. You know what I'm saying? Not realizing that the upheaval of the planet is what they're talking about in Revelations. And perhaps it's a cyclical thing that happens generation to generation, right? The technology gets lost because we advance so much that we destroy ourselves.
Yeah,
and it starts again.
There's a theory too, apart from like, you know, if you're familiar with the Noah's Ark flood and great floods, there's a lot of historical evidence or archaeological evidence, stories from different tribal peoples over the course of centuries and millennia. Every single one of them
Epic
involve
of
a
Gilgamesh.
flood. And there's Epic of Gilgamesh, which is the story of the Great Flood. Yeah, it's the story of the Great Flood.
What we're doing right now is, I mean, telling you, I read somewhere it was like, if you're not, what are you playing?
I don't know what's going on. It's supposed to be.
If you're not in, you know, up on the highest point or in an unsinkable craft, you won't be able to survive this next level. Right? So I'm definitely right now looking at ways to buy property higher up. I just
higher up in the mountain you go.
Something else in my body
New
is
Hampshire,
like
New Hampshire. That's I don't know if that's high enough, but they got mountains.
All right, I got some property over there. So my point is that the idea is really figuring out ways to survive this planet. We know that the oceans are rising. We know the ice caps are there. I'm watching footage all the Werner Herzog. He's talking about the glaciers. The glaciers are melting. Dude, you watch the footage. These huge things. And you think of glaciers as being these things up here, but underneath the water is some more. So when it starts falling, it's like this tumble, and yes, it's going to cause waves. Yes, the water's rising. Yes, temperature shifts and things. Why are we letting Elon Musk keep launching things through this gassy membrane that protects our planet? Why is this one human being, and he's not the only one, but if I read an article that says 57 of the satellites that he launched didn't make it because of a solar flare.
Where are they?
How many did he launch? Why is he being allowed to launch that many? And how can you consistently tell us that there is a very thin gas membrane?
Wait,
that you keep throwing things through it.
That if I use hairspray, it's
hairspray is that story still exists. Like no one's ever said,
yes,
NASA, you are the reason for the hole in the ozone.
Right.
Like no one has said
that.
No
one said that.
No
one said
that. Blonde chicks with their
we said it now. We said it now. Right now, we just said it.
NASA is the reason. Elon Musk is the reason.
It was
Mark Zuckerberg.
Thing sucks.
Mark Zuckerberg is the reason. People, who was the guy? Virgin Airways. Everybody who's launching shit through our atmosphere. It's your fault.
Yo, I remember. Yo, I remember when I was growing up, I would hear the term of this hairspray being a cause of breaking over. And I just thought that's fucking ridiculous.
Bro,
It sounded dumb then. When we were
it sounded
kids,
dumb
bro.
then.
When I was a kid, I used to be like,
Now
Let
it's
me
cow
think about
farts.
this.
Now it's cow farts and eating too much meat.
Yeah,
And people believe that.
But no one is saying the gigantic rockets burning hundreds and billions of gallons
Yep.
of fuel
Yep.
bursting through this gassy membrane.
or the
that's
GPS,
why.
or the GPS satellite they sent up there. God knows how long ago, and how many are up there? Who knows?
Hey,
And
do you
they
know
send them
about
up
do
there
you,
all
do you
the
know
time.
about the Black Knight satellite? Do you know about that one? Have you ever heard of that one?
Talk about it.
Talk about it.
So anyone that's online, and when you get a chance after, look up the Black Knight satellite. And apparently there's this. At first they thought it was just like space debris or something like that when they were first launching up satellites and stuff like that. But they came across this, and it looks like a dark metallic thing, shaped weird, but it looks like it has symmetrical, points to it and whatever. But the theory, or what they think it is, and also it broadcasts a signal out of it too. Apparently NASA has discovered a signal out of it. They don't know. Well, I think they do know what may be broadcasted from it, but they'd never put it up there. They don't know who put it up there. They don't know what it is exactly. The theory is, though, if anyone follows Billy Carson, he's talked about this on his podcast. He's a pretty well known I don't think he's a historian of like the Anunnaki and Sumerian and all that stuff, which is also a weird part of the topic that also kind of coincides biblically. Yeah. But anyway, supposedly the Black Knight satellite is like a drone that possibly sends information from one point to another to some other entity or what. I don't know.
It's like a middleman.
There's another one.
Yeah.
There's the Omu, whatever. There's a long name.
Anunnaki?
No, Omu something is a
Uma.
Uma,
or something like that.
The long satellite, the really narrow disc that like it's an object.
Yeah.
That seems to have propulsion. It seems to.
Yes, it changes direction.
It seems like it's a drone of some sort. Like they can't figure it out.
It looks like their images whatever they release looks like a potato almost, but like
It's
an elongated potato.
black object. Right.
Their description of how it acts, it responds to like it changes direction, like without it just things in space just don't change direction because.
Is it a spaceship or an asteroid or an alien probe?
Shoot it down.
Oh, but I also read too.
that thing.
And I also read too.
Okay.
I listened to so many podcasts. I'm trying to remember his name.
It's like a long space penis. Sorry, I say that.
But
Okay.
Pause.
The dick pic.
it's the universe's dick pic.
It's universe.
The first universe's dick pic from the outreaches of space.
But it behaves in weird
That's
ways.
where they got the show Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine.
69.
You never watched that show, Deep Space
I watched
Nine?
Deep Space Nine.
It's a part of like Star Trek or whatever,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's where they got the show from. Deep Space
69.
Nine.
69.
Oh my God.
That's ridiculous. So things like that, for me, because you've gotten to a place, I know we're going off the left here, but because you've gotten to a place where the people like NASA, who you're supposed to trust, you got to a place where you can't trust them.
Never a straight answer.
You can't trust them. And so you're like, I
Do they
don't
still
know.
exist?
Huh?
Do they still exist?
Who?
NASA?
Yeah.
It do
I
exist.
think
they
so.
may get less funding
Well,
from us.
They don't send.
More of their funding comes from private investors.
I
now.
believe they're the oversight, though, the militarized oversight of all of
Yeah.
this. They're
Right.
they're actually probably going to be the
'cause
military
they
end
don't
of all
send
of
nobody
this. So.
up anymore. But
They're
you're
not,
right. Yeah.
but they oversee Elon.
Yeah, yeah.
And all the other stuff.
Because
We're meeting with them next month.
NASA?
NASA,
NASA and NASA.
NASA and NASA.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Hope
Nice.
you don't run into any
Nice,
Nazis.
nice.
Because
Hey!
because we know how that program started, how it really got its jump off. Listen, it is what it is. If you talk about conspiracies, so we're here in the space talking about how, because a conspiracy theory is just essentially that people have conspired to do something.
Yeah.
And so what it is yes, was it Paperclip?
Bluebeam?
what was the one that brought in all the Nazis?
Paperclip, yep.
Brought all those little scientists in.
Right.
That's how
right?
NASA started.
So,
Yeah,
right, so
yeah.
all these programs that Hitler had started already, we went and took them and the scientists and brought them back here.
We
how
took
we got
all
the
their things,
bomb,
you know?
how we got everything. So think about how different America would be if it wasn't for the Nazis.
The Nazis also had a UFO program.
Actually, yes.
It's wild. If have you looked into that?
Yes.
That is a fucking wild rabbit hole.
Yeah.
That is a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
folks.
Super wild rabbit hole.
That is oh my god.
They
what was it?
actually had bases in the North
Documentary.
Pole.
It's nuts.
Antarctica.
There are multiple
all of this
documentaries
stuff,
on
the
this.
South
Yeah.
Pole and North Pole. Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, kind of like in
And
some
there's
weird ways, we kind of appreciate what some of the. So you know what?
Are
Here's
we
the thing
gonna
about
go
Nazis.
there? Are we gonna go there?
We'll
Yeah,
keep
we
it
can go
about.
there.
We'll
We
keep
can
it
go
about. The Nazi scientists, they did not necessarily abide by Adolf's ideology on anything.
Mm-hmm.
They were simply scientists. However, he did it. He got very intelligent people who were passionate about what they were passionate about to work under that regime.
Mm-hmm.
They were not a part of the ideology of Nazism. So many of them, through Operation Paperclip, came here and worked here, and were like.
Was Oppenheimer one of them?
Yes.
Or
Oppenheimer.
was he U.S.?
Oppenheimer and Einstein.
Well,
they
no,
worked
Einstein
together.
was U.S., but Oppenheimer, I
I
don't.
think I don't want
I
to.
think Oppenheimer came here too, but I wouldn't. I think it seems.
But they both worked on
Yeah,
the atom.
right.
Eisenhower.
The Manhattan
Eisenhower.
Project.
What's his name? What the hell's his name? Not Eisenhower.
Albert Einstein?
Oppenheimer.
No, Einstein.
Albert
Sorry,
Einstein, yeah.
Einstein. He was saying, don't do that because this is what it's going to do. Oh no, Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer.
I think they both were. I think they both
were on
were
the project. So
Yeah,
when it got
but-
down to the end,
I haven't watched that movie. I
When
wanna
they
watch
when
that
they saw the
movie, too.
test, I haven't seen the movie, but I
Yeah.
know my history from like that stuff.
Yeah.
I was really big on this stuff. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, me
after
too.
9/11, I dug into what's another time that human beings have done horrible things to each other, and I got deep into
Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right? And so really into that stuff.
Why do we have a gun problem? Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So
That's
it's like,
another theory I got. No,
Why we have a gun problem?
Yeah, because
What? Really? I'd like to hear that.
no,
theory.
I'm not saying it's directly related to that.
Sure,
but
sure.
just our overall sense of weaponry encourages. See, I don't think we have a gun problem. I think we have an access to gun problem.
okay, so we have a capitalism problem because if I've got a factory full of guns, I want to
I
sell
gotta move
them.
it.
I gotta move them. So not only do they sell them the regular way, hey, I got some wares, come get them. They give away guns. NRA. They give it. So it was when you had Bowling for Columbine and all that. The dude was like, he went to a bank and they were like, "You got a new account?
Here's a
rifle."
shotgun. Yeah,
I lived
right.
in North Carolina for 4 years from my college experience. I heard those things. Come on down and get a car, get a free shotgun. That was real. That happens. And we're in the Northeast acting like this stuff is.
We'll
out
attach
there.
it to your mirrors.
Yes, literally. Get a free Colt shotgun. You get
tactical rifle.
a new car and a
Tactical
gun.
rifle.
So it is a culture.
Oh my god.
They give away. They encourage. They promote guns.
So, yeah,
If you look
that's what I mean by
so
that.
all
when I
that
say-
stuff. The problem is really capitalism because have the thing to sell. I gotta move it. How do I move it? I make it popular. I put some money into a movie.
I give discounts.
Arnold
all that,
Schwarzenegger is responsible for billions of gun sales.
Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yes.
Why
Really?
Arnold?
As an icon who was in a movie,
I thought he was. I thought.
shooting
Oh yeah.
off
Okay.
mad
Yeah.
guns.
Yeah.
You
That makes
understand?
sense. That makes sense.
That's
That
how
makes
it's
sense.
subtle.
That makes sense.
So if I
But
put
he
in
was
a
coming back.
few $1 million into a movie and he's just shooting off every kind that I provide
I'll
for the
be back.
movie, so you know what I'm saying?
He
He's
was coming back
promoting
for the guns to put them away.
Bruce Willis, same deal. Always dudes. Die Hard, always movies promote
Well, yeah.
gun use.
Hollywood.
Promote power. I gave you power. It promotes that.
I don't blame the actors. I blame Hollywood. It was the industry that paid them, that put them in that position, that promoted that part of that film.
But you got to blame the lobbyists for the guns who put the money in Hollywood in the first place.
Okay, lobbyists too. But
That's where
I'm
it
saying
is.
I'm not going after Arnold. But I see what you're saying.
Arnold is responsible as an actor as well. And listen, and I love Denzel, But Denzel was in the movie where there's lots of guns too. The point is,
Equalizer and Training Day.
come on,
Many movies.
John Wick is a gun commercial.
Yeah.
It's literally. John Wick is a commercial.
It's a badass movie too.
It's a great movie. I can't hate on the fact that I'm impressed by what it took to make the film, but essentially, it would show me a movie that has as long a run about peace. Show me a movie where the entire movie that person goes around healing, that person goes around saving lives, and show me how it made billions of dollars.
Passion of the Christ.
I mean, there were the little nails in that joint.
No, I mean, like he was, you know what I mean. At the end of it, yeah, sure.
I know what you're saying, but certainly, like, right, that didn't promote guns. You know, it dramatized.
It showed the cruelty of humanity, though, too.
Showed the cruelty of humanity, but also it really is about the passion, right? Christ did all this stuff for you. Yeah, if you go to Europe, when I was in Italy for my senior year, traveling through Austria, Germany, say Italy, and Switzerland, like, you could one of these churches, and you would find in the village there'd be this really grotesque crucifix, right? I mean, it was like different versions of Jesus, but in like these devastated states, and like gory faces, and some of them had like the teeth inside of the thing, like some really gross ones, right? To show you again, to evoke the feeling of the passion, right? So all this stuff just ties together, man. The way that people are pushed into feeling things, and the way guns and violence are promoted. Well, Americans think that this is going to make them strong, and they think I'm going to protect myself. So the minute you buy this thing to protect yourself and your home, what you got to do? Got to get some kind of lock for it. Got to get a case for it. The person on the back end who's just thinking line items and things and sales. That's what they're going for. In order to own a gun, you got to have these other things in order to be part of it. You got to kick in some dough. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. You buy a car.
So let me ask you this, because since we're on the gun topic, because that's like a big topic for me too. Because I am pro Second Amendment, because I think it's very important to have, because it protects all the other amendments too, especially free speech, and free speech protects the Second Amendment, vice versa. Yes, I think we need a little bit. I think we need a better education system on what it means to own a firearm, what it means to use a firearm, when to use a firearm, all that stuff. I am against taking that off the board because of the state of the world that we are within. Yes, is there a capitalistic hand in this? Sure, but it's not going to last forever, because on the top end of all of this, they would much rather us be disarmed rather than armed.
So pause there. So run down what the Second Amendment is.
Wait,
what is the Second Amendment?
The right to bear arms shall not be infringed. I don't think that's the entirety. That's
in order to maintain a properly regulated militia.
Thank you.
Against
foreign
and domestic
and
enemies.
A tyrannous government.
So
most people who claim to have these guns for that reason, right? We can't have ourselves disarmed because the government wants.
Right.
Tell me what you're going to do against a sonic weapon. Tell me what you're going to do against 5,000 drones.
Sure.
Tell me. So whatever we own as normal citizens, we are not able to currently defend ourselves against what they really have. Laser weapons. Can I run down to satellite?
Weapons. Sure, they got
biological
they
weapons, viruses.
You ever heard
we don't have enough to really defend ourselves against them properly.
You ever heard of the rods?
Heat rays are real.
Heat rays and that's what blew up Maui.
These are real.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Allegedly.
No, say they can actually see clouds and make rain happen.
There is direct energy weapons. The Navy has them.
Absolutely.
Of course. Those things do exist.
So how are you going to defend yourself with your little handgun? Even if you get a Bushmaster, you ain't got no...
I'd much rather have that than nothing.
And that is fear. That is the definition.
You think so?
That's the definition of fear.
Is it fear or having the ability to have a chance to fight back if and when something like that occurs?
It's the definition of fear to me. If you need a weapon to
So
defend
what-
yourself. You're
what's the
depending upon
opposite?
inordinate, unnatural amounts of power.
But what's the opposite of that? What's
do you
the
mean the
opposite? What would be the opposite of fear in that situation? Is what I'm asking.
How many
Or
people?
faith.
How many people are on the Andaman Islands right now?
On the where?
The Andaman Islands. What the Andamanese? The Andamanese. You know what those are?
I don't know how many.
It's the last. Right.
Mm-hmm.
How are those people defending themselves?
What do you mean?
What do they have? What guns they got?
Are you? Oh wait, are they? Is this the
They're
same?
natives.
Is this the same? Is that the situation?
They
with,
fire arrows
Yeah,
at
yeah.
helicopters. You know what I'm
They
saying?
haven't been invaded
Sure.
So
yet.
they don't have guns.
they haven't been invaded.
They don't have a gun culture. They haven't been invented. So for me, is yes,
But they also have smallpox.
they don't have.
No, I'm
smallpox.
joking, I'm joking,
But
I'm joking, I'm joking.
they're
What's-
supposedly susceptible to our
Yeah.
diseases out here. It's
But-
not been proven. You can't prove it till you bring them in.
Because
and
we
kill 'em.
haven't gotten there.
I'm trying.
My point is,
I'm trying to understand. Your
They
point.
live a life
Mm-hmm.
without the protection we think we have,
Mm-hmm.
and they live like they're not going unless we go in there and mess with them, right?
Right.
So I'm saying to you, we can survive without the weapons. This is where we are. I am 46 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I've never shot a gun. I grew up Brooklyn, New York, 1985, crack era. I grew up in Dorchester, Massachusetts, 1990, post that era, right? I've lived through all kinds of stuff in this America and never, ever had to hold that. You know what I mean? So there's something about, for me, where I'm not afraid. If you have God with you, how can you be afraid of anybody or any bullets or anything? So you're going to say on one hand, I believe in God, blah, 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 but I got to hold this peace. Bro, the peace won't save you when it's time. When it's time, it just is. You can defend yourself. David and Goliath is kind of a true story if you look at it, right? So you believe that with your pistol and your little handgun, you can shoot down all the drones. It's not real.
Well, I wouldn't recommend a pistol.
Yeah, right.
I recommend a rifle.
I'm hearing you, but I'm saying to you,
But to use that,
it's
but,
futile.
But let me.
One more point before you do that.
Sure.
Here's the point I'm trying to make.
Sure.
Because Dr. Martin Luther King did this.
Mm-hmm.
People don't talk about this very often. Dr. King, because of what he was doing, had a realistic amount of fear. Used to carry a gun. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Right. All you know is nonviolent, turn the other cheek. Dr. King used to carry a gun because he was real, right? What occurred was they firebombed his house, and the man realized that no matter what gun he carried, he can't defeat that. So what he did was he dropped the gun, stopped carrying the gun, just lived by faith, went through. And then they got him. The government got him. But my point is, that is the true bravery. That's the true win. Because Martin won. His name rings bells. He's got a holiday. He's got streets. The message still goes on. People are still trying to achieve the dream. Like Martin won against all the bullets.
Right.
Bullet can't stop you, man. My point is, we think we're going to fight fire with fire.
Sure.
And it's not it. You fight fire with water. Bruce Lee said, be water.
Be water, my friend. Let me counter that a little bit. The gun isn't for me. It's for my family. So, for instance, let me put it in perspective. Someone comes into your house, or a group of someones comes into your house, and you're outnumbered. Maybe you have a unique fighting skill, hand-to-hand combat. Maybe you have some type of ability to counter 3 or more men, and these are men coming into your house, and your family's in there. They're armed. You're not. Your ability to defend yourself is way lower. Your ability to get out of that alive, your ability to have your family get out of that alive unscathed is probably zero. It's probably not going to happen, depending on what their intent are too. So you're at the mercy of these people that are coming into your house, invading on your space. Now, does a rifle necessarily mitigate that? You have more of a chance of mitigating that issue than being in a position where you cannot. So the gun isn't necessarily for me. It's for me protecting my family. It's
a fabulous, noble argument.
I'll admit, I would have a natural fear. I do have a natural fear for my family.
Yeah.
Not for my life.
I'm with the
I'm willing.
argument. My bad,
You're
my
good. You're good. I'm willing to be. I'm willing to be that.
Thank you.
I'm willing to be that shield in front of him. I'm willing to be that human shield.
And I
You understand what I'm saying?
It's a very noble thing.
I want the ability to do that.
It's very noble. If someone's coming at you with inordinate, unnatural amounts of force, you want to be able to have something to be back. Case in point, when I was young, I used to, I live in the hood in Dorchester, Massachusetts, and I was growing 12 to 18 in the hood, right?
I work out there.
You know the hood. I'm saying something. So I'm on the bus, on the train, on the way to the bus. On the train, you know what I'm saying? And I got my little knife with me because Dorchester, that's what we did. We bought knives, $10 at the corner store. I owned like several of them. I knew whatever. It's the thing. We practiced that in case somebody run up on you, right? I'm on the train, and dude pulls out this knife. And he's like, yo, run your chain, bro. We on the train. I'm here. And there's nobody else in the car and shit. So and I know I got my joint. You know what I mean? And if I pull mine out, I got this scared dude with his knife. He might do the wrong thing. Somebody might end up. I didn't pull out mine. But I looked him dead in the eye and talked him down. I was like, bro, you ain't gonna try to do that. You ain't trying to do that. You know what I mean? Now, enough of what I presented made him rethink. He didn't know why I was so damn confident. Why I was so not afraid he got the weapon out. So much so that he had, I was bugging with you, man. That's a nice chain, though. Because he didn't know. Maybe I was so confident because I had a thing. So for me, I'm saying to you, like, it's about here in the end, man. Like, Martin Luther King did not take it that way, and he won, in my opinion.
I'm not going to take the nobility that Martin Luther King had took. I can understand where he was coming from, although his position in the adversity that he was facing was much larger than someone.
Any of us.
Well, it's much larger than someone coming and encroaching onto your home or encroaching on. For instance, in my opinion, I would have much rather have had a pistol on me with someone who has a knife on me.
But do you want to take a life?
But
do you want to take a person's life?
That's not what I'm saying.
Do you value life?
I don't want to take a life.
You don't value life?
No. I very much.
You don't want to take a
life.
life. You'd rather not, right?
I'd rather not.
You don't want your life taken. So
I don't want that stain on my soul.
Right. And so that's what I'm saying to you. You wouldn't ever have to worry about that if you stayed in this space. Yes.
Well, the thing is,
people are going to come in, but people are going to come in, bro, and you're going to have to go get your weapon. Because you're a responsible individual, you've locked it into a safe.
No.
Okay.
No, it's available.
I'm saying to you, but you leave it around, then you leave it for your kid to touch. So for me, it is what it is. For me, there's different levels. When you bring bleach into your house, when you bring hydrochloric acid into your house, you bring a gun into your house, you then have to have safety precautions around this dangerous snake. Whatever.
Just to be clear, I lost them all in a boating accident, but it's a gun owner's joke. Sorry, but
I was like, hey,
you're terrible.
I'm sorry.
But it's the point.
I was trying. I'm sorry.
Wait. And I got no beef.
Fucking thing sucks.
I got no beef with folks who want to own guns because of the. Hey, I know a lot of people. Again, down south. Again, out west. Whatever it is, people are teaching their sons to hunt. Yeah. Teaching the kids how to properly clean, how to break it down. It's a tool. When it gets to a place of this thing is gonna protect me, bro. I got 3 kids. I love them to death. My wife. I got 4 cats and a bunch of fish, bro. But I think in my life, I'd rather not have the weapon around so I could take a person's life. Or that my kid can be like, yo, my dad got a gun, let me show my gun, and have that. I don't want to even have a scene for that accident to happen. It's not present in my home. You know what I'm saying? But if you come into my home, you might not fucking leave, bro. And it ain't about these hands. Me as a human being, I'll put my body in front of my family.
Understood.
I don't even believe that you understand.
I do understand.
You know Jamaican?
Yeah,
you ever seen Jamaicans in the room?
You know Irish?
All right then.
He's a dad.
We don't need that.
Look. I'm wearing dad across my chest. Hold on. Let me. Brother, I understand what you're saying, because the last thing that I would ever want to do is take another human life, regardless if I got to defend what I have to defend, right? Whatever. but the thing is that at that moment, if someone is encroaching on my family that I have to protect, I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about my family. It's them or them, right. And it ain't gonna be them. You understand what I'm saying? So look, so the part about, what I want my son playing with the gun. He can't get to it. And when he gets older, I'm going to teach him what that is and what this thing does and why it's important not to touch things, and also teach him that this is what it does and it can hurt people and it can hurt you. Don't ever use it. And if you point it at someone, you better be willing to shoot. Okay. So the thing is, and I get it, I understand, believe me, because I would never want that. I would never want my son, God forbid, in his long future, in his long life, forever to be in a position where we would ever have to have that. But the future that is coming upon him, I'm not so certain that he's gonna have that chance.
And I'm with you. I do understand.
But as I'm, I would much rather humanity to not have these designs to kill each other. I don't want that.
Come on.
I don't want evil to encroach on my house. I don't want evil to exist on that. Yeah. But here's the thing.
Sin.
There's you're learning things from the Bible right now, right? There's not enough godly men in this earth to restrain evil, and this is why evil puts us in positions of this.
And there will never be because of sin, because sin is into the world.
So let's go to this. Let's go to this then, okay? Because this is the problem with people who are like Christian gun owners, right? Either God is all powerful and is in control of everything, or he's not. So the problem when you go to believing God and believing in this to protect you, it conflicts. So for me, I'm telling you, Bob Marley was shot at. They shot his girlfriend in the head. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Bob didn't decide to carry a gun. Bob carried bigger and better songs. MLK I just mentioned. You know what I'm saying? People who really are about this spirit, who are about this world, about like, you're not going to take me out till God takes me out. They don't do that. They don't carry the weapon. You carry the weapon, you give somebody an excuse to be scared.
So I think that's the misconception of what the turn the cheek term is. Turning the cheek would mean that if you're just bad mouthing me, or you just don't agree with what I'm saying, or you're trying to hate on what I'm doing. I'm not saying you specifically. I'm just using you as an example. For me, I'm like, all right, well, you're on that side. I'm gonna go this way. I'm not gonna even bother with you because you're on that level. You know what I'm saying? So if you're on that level, then, and I avoid you, we're not gonna have this. We're not gonna have an altercation. Hopefully, not have an altercation. But if you keep pursuing, and then you become more violent, I'm gonna have to meet you at a certain level. I'm gonna do my best to keep it cordial, to keep it peaceful as possible. Because remember, a man who is of peace, he is also capable of war, also capable of violence.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between a good man and a nice man. A good man is willing to stand his ground, be humble. A nice man, depending on the persona of who that person is he's either going to be dangerous because he's weak, scared, or it's everything that happens from the moments of when you're having that altercation. That person is not going to let you talk them down. So you have to stand your ground. You have to do a certain, you have to assert yourself in a certain way in order for that person not to, because listen, you could talk evil down in its face all you want. If they have that intent, and there are some wolves out there that they're all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you could probably get to,
I fear no man. I fear
no. I understand.
No,
this is not saying that. This is not saying that.
I fear no man.
Brother,
I live on this planet.
This is not saying that.
And I'm just saying to you that is a point that is actual. It is a position to hold, and I hold that. Like I said, I've lived this long in my life,
and I'm not saying that's
I've
not
held guns. You know, blah, blah, blah.
I'm not saying that's not noble. I understand where you're coming from.
What I'm saying is, I'm guaranteeing you, I will not leave this planet until it's my time.
Sure.
Because God has a plan for me. So that's what Martin got to, bro. He got to a place he was like, yo.
And that's where we should all get to.
So we can't all, because the real place we need to be to is to stop making these guns. Right? what that means, capitalism has to stop being capitalism, right? Colt, Smith & Wesson, all these companies have to stop wanting, Bushmaster, have to stop wanting to make money. Have to stop their directive, their whole board. Everything is about making money. They don't care about the lives lost. They don't care if they sell it to you or to Hamas or to Russia. That's the problem. And more gun sales only lead to more gun sales. Ezra Pound said this, there is no saturation. Once you begin to inject this idea that this thing will protect you, it's inordinate amount of force. I could take your life with my bare hands. And the times I've had an opportunity to be in those kind of conflicts with people, my spirit has let me not do that. So for me, I'm saying to you, like, the less guns there are, the less mistakes there are, the less people that die. We keep making these guns, and if 99% of the people aren't responsible, if 99% of the people are just folks who are scared, because you might not be one of those. You're a responsible individual, right? Who is afraid of the crazies. But if 99% of them are crazy.
I'm not afraid of the crazy.
Aware of the
I'm
crazies.
aware of
You're
them.
preparing yourself for the crazies. Got you.
I don't.
But 99% of people who own guns are scared.
Here's the thing. Let's put it in perspective. You said you're 46.
Yes, sir.
So you get someone that's 22. You cannot defeat the youth. Time and age catches up to all of us.
I fear no man.
I hear you, brother.
No man.
I don't either.
Not a cop.
I
not
understand.
A Fed.
I understand
I
you.
fear
This
no
isn't,
man.
listen, this isn't. I'm not pressing this to bravado or anything like that. There's nothing that I'm trying to test there. I completely understand where you're coming from, wholeheartedly. I really do. But the fact is that I'm putting someone coming into your house in perspective, because on the outside, okay, you fuck it. You know, you don't want to get in an altercation that resolves in you having to use a firearm or any weapon. But not everyone out there thinks the same thing. In fact, 9 times out of 10, someone's going to come at you with some kind of weapon. Knives don't run out of bullets. Bats don't run out of bullets. Axes don't run out of bullets. Hammers or anything.
Canes. I got kitchen knives.
And
I'm saying to you.
And as big as your hands are, I see them. You're not gonna. You're not
a welterweight.
You're not
a welterweight.
You're not. Yeah. You're not gonna defeat an axe. You're not gonna defeat a knife. If someone gets you good, that's you're done.
But I might
what
live.
I'm saying, you might. But what I'm saying is, in the position that someone's coming into your family, that shit doesn't matter. It's their lives or whoever that's coming through that door. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying.
No, I got you.
Listen, I totally respect where you're coming from.
Right,
because listen, I don't want to be in a position like that. I don't ever want to be in a position like that. Even fist fighting, I don't even want to be in a position like that. And I'm a fighter. You know what I'm saying? I fought my entire life. I totally get it. I understand. But I've been in some fucked up shady situations where it's like, this ain't. Who knows how this is gonna go? Yeah. Am I gonna make it out of here? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I've been in situations like that in my past.
Did you shoot your way out?
No.
Right.
I didn't have to.
Right.
I didn't have to.
And so you never have to. And so
I hope I never have to.
The less guns there are, the safer human beings on the planet are.
I totally agree with you,
right
brother.
now.
That's a true statement.
Whoa. What you guys are missing is this, guys.
True statement.
What you're missing is this.
Yeah. What's up?
Look it up.
Mm-hmm.
The guns aren't even made by people anymore. The factories run 24/7 without people. The robots call the people to let them know something is up. So the guns are just being made. And once they're made, they have to get sold. So they have to create wars, create conflict, create differences, create reasons why the white people are scared of a race riot and black folks are like, yo, I just want a peace, bro. I just want to be equal. When has black folks actually been like, we want a race riot? You know what I'm saying? For the majority, the fear...
Hebrew Israelites are borderline...
But there's like 5 of them, dog. There's 5 of them, and they're all in New York.
I'm just saying.
They're all in New York City, all chilling. Sure. And when the cops run up on them to shut down the speaker system, they ain't backing.
I know.
So for the record,
I know.
For me, it's unfound fear. It's ridiculous, unfound fear.
I'm not saying I'm afraid of you. I'm just saying you said
the capitalists are raping our consciousnesses and making us. And again, I'm not saying you're scared.
I know.
I'm saying they put you in a space of fear and convinced you that this weapon, and this weapon will actually protect you. more often than not, and run the stats, please.
I think I know.
More
I think I
often
know.
than not,
I think I know where you're
people
going with
who
that.
buy a gun for protection, shoot themselves, shoot their children.
Fear is the commodity that the capitalists make money off of. I
And
totally
that's the
understand. I
problem.
understand what you're saying. I
And
totally
so
do.
I'm not
brother.
saying you have a right to protect your family. If you believe this inordinate force that allows you to take another life is warranted, do your thing.
Right.
I live in the hood up from the projects. I don't have a gun. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I've grown up in many hoods, from an actual third world country, Jamaica, where it's wild, to Brooklyn, New York in the 80s, where it's wild, to Dorchester. I've been through it, bro, and somehow managed to still go to college and get a college degree. Somehow still managed to get through, been through crack houses, been through mad places where my peoples was at where I shouldn't be at, right? I believe that my steps are ordered. I believe that I'm supposed to get somewhere. And once I let go of the fear, because I call it fear, right? Once I let go of that, I stopped worrying about the other stuff.
You know, I struggle with this. What you're saying right here, I struggle internally with it all the time.
Because you're a strong individual. You have the energy on you that you're protected. But when you have a family, a young family, understood. I hopped out of my car one time to this dude cut me off, and I had my baby in the back, and I hopped out about to get this dude because you cut me off. And it was a short little dude. I felt so sad for him. He hopped out with a baseball bat out of his trunk. And rather than take the bat from him and beat him with it, I felt sorry for him. And I got back in my car, and I felt stupid. Because I was about to let out inordinate force on an individual who's frightened. The kid with the knife, the guy with the gun. I've been in many situations, bro. Not one, not two. Many times where I was outnumbered. And I got through it with my mouth, with my voice, with this look in my eye that says, I'm one of the ones you can't touch. I am God's chosen.
There you go.
I am not here for play, bro. And that's where I realized. And once you settle into that, you don't live in fear. Like Martin, like Malcolm, like mad heads who in the end was like, yo, I can't deal with these fools around me. I know what my mission is.
I'm with you.
Okay.
I feel that especially about not living in fear. The Bible does still instruct us to be as shrewd as snakes and as innocent as
Are you looking at the Old Testament?
New Testament. That's,
Okay.
that's Jesus.
That's
Jesus. But my bigger point actually was.
One more. I would take another one if you don't mind. These are minis.
We're on the minis now. You want a
This
mini?
is my second
I'll
one.
do a mini. I'll do one mini.
We got no more.
It's fine. And
Thank
this
you.
is a great beer chair too. If you ever got to pick it up,
Out of Pawtucket, I think.
Tiny Heinies.
Tiny heinies.
or a tiny heiny. I like the thick heinies myself.
Sorry, go ahead. Again,
no.
I don't want my point to be the only point.
No,
Please, by all means, sure.
Actually, so my
You
point
got a lighter? Sorry.
ties back to what we were talking about previously about hip hop. Hip hop culture is not so much a problem. Elements of hip hop culture have made hip hop culture problematic.
Elements.
So I look at gun culture. So I recently took my son to do airsoft. Recently, right?
Yeah, yep.
And so I'm around a lot of gun enthusiasts and folks in that culture. I highly recommend to you two fathers, take your children to airsoft.
And I was gonna say,
when
yeah,
you
yeah,
do,
yeah.
wear layers because you're gonna get fucked up. Them pellets hurt. I ain't gonna lie.
More than paintball?
Yes, more than paintball. Them shits.
You believe that?
They might.
No, they do. They do. They
I'm
do.
definitely paintball. Paintball hurts
I'm not
a little
gonna.
bit.
I'm not even gonna
Paintball
argue.
stings.
Yo, I'm not gonna argue this. Them shits hurt more.
No way.
Don't just load up, load up, load up, load up. Fuck it. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's not. I'm not even lying to y'all.
Oh.
As your boy, I'm
You
telling
got
y'all.
bruises as we speak.
Yeah. Take a weekend out.
Paintball is fun. I've done that a few
but
times.
It is fun. But my bigger point was just like how in hip hop culture is not what Puff and other opportunists have twisted it to look like. That's not what hip hop culture was. Family. It was this Caribbean culture from different Caribbean cultures. You know, a bunch of different things. It was toasting. It was about people who didn't really speak are now speaking, and it was about this newness and making something out of nothing. That's what hip hop really was, making something out of nothing. That's another topic for another time. But gun culture is not what it is being represented as now. Kyle Rittenhouse
Mm-hmm.
does not represent gun enthusiasts to me. The NRA right now does not represent gun enthusiasts to me, because what I saw that weekend with my son, I met actual gun enthusiasts.
Mm-hmm.
I have a family member in law enforcement who is a gun enthusiast. Okay, that you sound like a gun enthusiast, but you don't sound like these folks over here who are like, everybody gotta have a gun. The only way to stop a bad guy is a good guy with a gun.
Because that phrase bothers me.
Because that's not right. A smart person is what stops any person with a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but stopping someone with a gun goes. You do that before you get into the moment. Those are the things you've done prior to education, being prepared. Those things. But what I feel is that gun culture gets a bad rep because of some bad characters. People taking guns into places where they shouldn't be. People mass murdering. That's giving gun enthusiasts and gun culture a bad rep. Guns are fucking fun, man. My father, who is of 70-something years old, and my mother, who is his wife, obviously, they're both pastors, and they regularly go to a gun range. My father bought my mother a pink 9mm, which I still don't really care for, but that's the thing. But they love it. They have fun. There's energy release. There's with some folks there's a sexual energy release when firing guns. Like, it's fun.
Yeah, there's like an attraction with it.
There are it's almost like marijuana, where there's so many motherfucking things you can do with it. And one of them just happens to be, if you light it on fire, you get high. But there's so many other things you do with marijuana. So many others. But it's similar with guns.
I don't think a gun is similar, because there's really
it ain't
only
gonna get
one
you high.
purpose for a gun.
It ain't gonna get you high.
One purpose
but
for
no,
a
no,
gun.
no. I disagree. There's more than one purpose. Not just killing. Not just killing.
What's a gun for?
Hunting.
But even.
Whoa.
But that's not the purpose for it.
But 99% of the guns are not designed to hunt. 99% of the guns are rapid fire, long
honestly,
clip, meant to clear a whole room.
To answer
meant to
your,
take
no,
human
no,
life.
no, no, no,
Absolutely.
What's rapid fire?
Wait.
What's rapid fire?
Wait. Can I answer real quick?
Sure,
wait, before I answer that.
An automatic weapon is designed to kill a human being.
Guns are just
it's not meant to kill an
honestly.
animal.
Guns are made to fire. That's it.
Get out of here.
No.
Get out of here.
Guns are made to fire.
Then why are they made to fire?
Now.
To shoot down berries?
No, wait.
from a tree?
So. You don't have to shoot anything. You just fire a gun in the air. It's a beautiful feeling. It's great. Guns were made to fire.
That's the most American phrase I've ever heard.
Don't fire a gun in the air.
That's the most American thing you've ever said.
Don't go fire guns.
Wait.
No. But that's the attitude.
But no.
That's really
no. You're gonna take it the next
No,
step.
he's explaining that
putting it into somebody or into something. That's the next step.
But that is the people who make the guns make that excuse to separate themselves.
It's not an excuse.
No. If I make a
That's
knife, right?
That's what I'm saying about this culture.
No, because they compare it. They compare these two things to this noble idea of weapons have been around for years.
Okay, compare it to a bow and arrow.
But a bow and arrow, right, is meant for one purpose, and then they added another one, right? You say, hey, we're gonna be able to shoot the deer,
fire it.
shoot the deer, and then if I'm angry at tribe B, I'm gonna go shoot it at tribe B.
But before there was just to fire it, shoot shit down, see if I can shoot further than my brother.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how hard it is to get metal and make it the ore into metal, and then bid it and make a bullet?
I don't do
and then
that
add
stuff.
gunpowder, which is also the amount of energy that goes into projectiles and guns and bullets and the money and the resources and the time and energy. That is ridiculous to say it's only to enjoy the thrill of firing.
No.
It's for killing people.
Stop. No.
For killing people.
You went a couple further steps.
For taking lives.
No, you went a couple further steps because you then threw in the capitalist part of making guns.
Because that's it.
It's actually designed. It's actually
a slingshot wasn't the capitalist project.
All right, take
a
away
slingshot was a projectile for survival.
Take away the cost of the metal that you just talked about. Because
that metal can make other things.
Because we want to strip. No. Wait, listen to what I'm saying. Strip away the cost of the metal to make bullets, the cost of the metal to make the gun. Strip away all of that, right?
Why?
Because I want you to look at why a gun is made.
Please.
Strip away an American company making a gun. Just a gun. Let's just say God handed you a Glock.
But he didn't.
I know, but for this example, let's just say out of the air, God handed you a Glock.
The holy pistol.
The holy pistol. The holy, you know what I'm saying? The holy Desert Eagle. The holy Desert Eagle. He's not saying go kill anything. He just gave you this tool. It's beautiful. It feels great. You fire it and you want to go fuck your wife. It's a beautiful thing.
But again, the most American phrase is you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
This is
I'm sorry.
our culture distilled.
We'll cut that line.
The culture's distilled. But that's it. Truthfully, but you hit a point. That's why most Americans are getting into it. They don't all want to kill people. They don't all scared of a race war. But they love that feeling, that inordinate, unnatural feeling you cannot get.
And then the asshole. And now we put in the gun companies. Now
I would argue that people aren't getting involved with guns because of the
thrill.
Because of the thrill, it's more or less, or probably more or less, more on the end of because of what our country is turning into.
Well,
what the world is turning
again,
into.
There's
Also.
a fear. It's fear. We gotta own it.
Sure.
It's fear.
Yeah,
I'm
course.
afraid that the blanks are gonna try to take over. Whatever.
Whoever
you
I'm
are,
gonna, I'm gonna lose something I've got.
If you're racist, it says to black people.
Yeah.
If you're
I'm gonna lose something,
whatever. But nobody's afraid that the women are gonna come with guns, right? No one's afraid that a whole gang of women are going to come through and try to take over.
There's some angry women out there.
But more women are coming through with guns.
I'm not talking about the women.
Well, that's another thing too. That kind of equals the playing field for them, because like, what if they get invaded on or whatever? They have a chance.
Because there are these horrible guys who are trying to defile it. Again,
right.
But rather than here's my last argument on this. When I was in the 7th grade, junior high school, 117 in Brooklyn, New York, we had a kid, and he stabbed another kid in the neck with one of those little mechanical pencils. What they did was they banned mechanical pencils. They did nothing to teach kids not to stab each other. Because you can stab each other with a spork or with a regular number 2 pencil or you can stab with anything. They did nothing to teach the children how not to be violent with each other.
Sure.
They put it on the object, and that's where I'm at. So yes, so for me, it's not about more guns.
Right.
It's about raising less Timothy McVeigh's, less Sandy Hook guy, less all these guys at the Vegas
Orlando,
concert shooter,
the Orlando
like,
motherfucker in the club,
or less in these streets too.
Raise
Right.
less of those dudes, because what we're doing is creating individuals who are highly disturbed, and then because our culture is so prolific with these things, it's easy to get them. Relatively cheap.
That's what I say. The problem
a lot
is.
of them fall off the truck because you know how hard it is to get a damn gun.
Cheap.
Forget
the price.
Truck. That is all the stuff is intentional to serve an end.
They're accessible.
Of course it is.
And
that's
my
what
problem.
I said.
So if
is
the
problem.
guy in the suburban area feels he needs to buy a couple of Glock 9s and a nice shotgun to put in his house,
or
because he's afraid of Jaheim and Malik,
or
up
the
in the
16-year-old kid who's going through puberty,
going to school,
who doesn't understand. It's just puberty, bro.
So
it's
all this stuff is going on.
We all go through it, bro.
You cannot provide people with no cerebral cortexes access to guns.
That's the issue right there.
So if we had a country,
access to guns.
look at the countries where they don't. Look at where they have the same amount of guns. What's Canada doing different? What's
they
have more guns.
They banned pistols,
but they have more guns.
No.
They have actually more guns than we do.
They don't have the same types that we do, though.
Fine.
Right.
They have a lot of restrictions
but
on.
They don't have the mentality that we have.
Added to
Sure,
that,
America does have a gun culture. Yes, I agree. There's a gun culture. There's a gun. I mean, look,
Wild West movies,
but Canada
and
has
Bruce
access,
Willis, and
Canada,
what I was saying earlier.
But Canada has
bombarded.
Canada has access to those movies. They have access to our music.
And
to
why
our
are they
video games.
not cerebrally broken like we are?
But their constitution is a lot different than ours. Our constitution is specific with our Second Amendment
Yes,
and our
we-
First
yeah.
Amendment.
But that's
And we are the
only against
only-
a tyrannous government. You're maintaining the militia against a tyrannous government. It's the only reason why that
Foreign
works.
and domestic enemy. So you could define foreign or domestic enemy also means someone coming into your house.
It never means terrorist. It never means the KKK.
Domestic enemy near.
But it never means those people. It never
Yes,
means.
it actually does.
Show me a
It does-
community.
it does
show
mean
me
that.
one
It does
community
mean that.
in America.
It does mean that.
Show me one community.
Uh-huh.
Show me one community in America
yep.
that's ever taken up arms against the Ku Klux Klan. Ever. Name one. Name one community that's ever taken up arms against the Ku Klux Klan. Name it.
Yeah, I mean, I
No,
don't.
the
name it.
Black Panthers have. The Black
Against the
Panthers
Klan?
That
have-
is true.
against the Klan and against the U.S. government.
Yeah, yep.
I mean,
They were on the state capitol. That was one
They
time,
went
but
to the
then,
state capitol
that's,
to
that's
demand
where we
their
get
rights with the
COINTEL. That's where
guns.
we get COINTELPRO. So
Yeah.
there's a program involved here to create this melting pot of gun culture, fear, sales.
And
I
again, it's
know
money,
where you're
bro.
going with it.
It's money.
I know where you're going with that.
It's money that's
culture.
But so there's a battle on many fronts with this too, because at the same time you don't want to leave the people who actually get it, and that's black, white, brown, whatever,
Rich, poor, whatever.
rich,
yeah,
poor,
right,
whatever,
yeah,
who actually get it is like, well, I don't want to be defenseless. If something goes down, I want to have a chance for my family. You know what I'm saying? I want to have a chance for my community. I want to be able to defend to some degree. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I understand. I
understand fear.
Hold on.
I
Let me
understand
get,
fear. I
hold
do.
on. Let me get this point across.
fear.
Let me get this point across because
We're gonna be here all night too. Sorry.
This is a big one. This is a big one.
we got a little bit more time.
Yeah.
The thing is that I don't want any of these situations to arise, but I feel in my heart that at some point or another these situations are going to rise in our community one way or another. It's just going to happen because the levels of the grossness and the sickness that these people are, and I'm talking about the super elites, these families that are in charge of all this stuff, where if you follow the money where it really goes, these people want turmoil, they want fear, they want these capitalistic sales, they want this to keep on going.
Okay.
Hold
so
on.
why are we doing that for them?
Sure, let me finish. The people who get submerged in this fear is like, oh, I need a gun because the border is going crazy. I need a gun because the KKK lives down the street. I need a gun because there's black people over here doing this and there's Chinese people doing this. All of those people that are thinking that way are the people that you're talking about.
They're the majority. For the record, they're the majority. For the record,
I
those
don't know.
people
I don't know
represent
if they're
the majority of gun owners. They do.
I would be willing to debate that a little bit. Because if it was, our streets would be overrun. We wouldn't even be able to have this conversation right now because we'd be too busy defending our families from whatever that's coming through the door.
But it's not real. As I'm saying,
It's not real. It's not real yet. It's not real yet.
The people that
It's
fear
not real
that,
yet.
that's what they're living off of, man.
I hear. Listen, I hear you, brother. Hold on. Let me just.
I'm sorry. I wasn't finished.
So, we have a battle on many fronts because at a certain point we have to say, like, okay, we can only do so much. We can only do so much dialogue. We can only be diplomatic with certain organizations, certain states, certain political aspects, certain apparatuses rather. You cannot negotiate with anybody that has the intent of trying to harm you. You cannot negotiate with them. Now, am I saying that you can't attempt it? Sure. There's some people that you probably be able to talk down because 9 times out of 10 they're probably coming in through your doorway because they're hungry, they're poor, whatever they need to come up, right? There is some point in there where you can do that. I've seen documentation of that. I've seen videos of things like that. Beautiful moments where something dangerous could have happened, but they've been talked down, and that person was able to do a nonviolent attempt on bringing down that person. Yeah. Not all the time that's going to happen. And I would be willing to bet that 9 times out of 10 that's not going to happen because that person's not going to be able to be. You're not going to be able to reason with someone that has the intent on harming you.
But I disagree.
Not
with
just
that,
harming,
man.
and not just harming you, but harming your family.
Who's the guy? Daryl. What's his name? The guy Daryl that goes and he reforms Klan members, right? That dude never goes into that situation.
But you know what?
armed.
Those people. Yes, but those
He
people
doesn't
that
go into, and he's been doing it for now a long time. He's been doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the worst, most racist people in the world. People who hate, and he's not a light skinned dude.
right? So he's big black dude, goes in these places, goes to Klan rallies, unarmed. You can't fathom that, right?
Right.
These guys are all armed under
Which
their
kind of
hoods.
makes you
So
think,
how does he do it?
Which kind of makes you think, are the Klan members really just operating out of fear, or are they actually violent?
Say it.
You know what I'm saying?
Say it.
You know what I'm
Say
saying?
it. That's what I mean. You understand?
Right. Because they've actually accept him most of the time to come in and talk with him. A lot of them were reluctant at first.
They don't shoot him.
No, they don't.
They don't kill him.
They don't beat him or
Right?
anything like that. They don't do anything.
You
to him.
understand?
They actually shake his hand and
Now,
they
one
talk with him.
story about, and he's going in there with what? Nothing.
Sure.
You understand?
Sure.
So for me,
But I
can
think
point
you're-
out
I think-
many of those examples and less examples of a time when someone went in armed and didn't have a confrontation.
Sure, but now,
lose their life,
but you're
perhaps.
also, in my opinion, you're also dealing with people that are very much uneducated on the matter of what race and culture is. They're probably not raised around black people, and that's
And they have actual hate.
Predominantly, that's probably the most of the reason of why we even have some form of racial tension between peoples, is because they're not interacting with each other on the same levels and understanding, right? So with that in mind, though, you're met with someone that, and this is on any spectrum. It could be white, black, on any of the spectrum. You're met with someone on the intent that they have a history. They just have that in them.
Who is this boogeyman you keep talking about? Because it shows up a lot. This narrative.
So
no, if it's you.
so
but
listen.
this narrative opens up. What if someone comes in? What is the who?
We have to be honest
It's
with.
an
We have to be
imaginary person.
No. We have to be honest with ourselves that there's serial killers out there. There's murderers out there. There's people that rape women out there. That those real things happen.
Agreed.
There's pedophiles out there. You know what I'm saying? Those are real things.
But they're few and far between.
And they also
If you
exist.
meet 10 human beings today, you might not come across a
But
pedophile
they
today.
exist in countries other than the United States,
right?
And those
Are we afraid
countries,
that they're gonna come here?
I'm saying in countries other than the U.S., they don't have the same gun problems that we have, but they do still have the same problems, like with pedophiles and rapists. So
Probably more so than we do.
You're. I get your point.
I just don't understand.
I get like
see where
saying
you're
like
coming from.
okay, we're gonna we're afraid of the boogeyman coming through
It's
the door.
a boogeyman thing.
But it's not though. It's a precautionary thing.
How many
I'm not-
rapists
I-
bust
for-
into your house with a gun to rape your women?
For-
How many, bro?
For none.
None.
have. And
They
that's,
don't work
and
that
God,
way.
And God willing, that
They don't-
doesn't
but
happen.
they don't work that
and
way.
God willing, that doesn't happen.
Rapists
Yeah, but I
usually
can't.
are
I can't.
someone
I
that knows
personally
the
can't write
girl,
that off.
Knows the person. Most times, the rapist is this person who really knows you very intimately.
I personally
Right?
cannot write that off as being a possibility
But the
that could
problem
happen.
is, if there's a small percentage of it, it has to be broken down to fear.
He's
Right?
saying he's
I'm
prepared
afraid
for
of
it.
the unusual thing that may not happen. And I could wait 20, 30, 40 years as a gun owner with this dangerous thing in my home, near my children, around me, in the hope and the fear. Like it's like buying insurance in your car
But
and you never, ever use
But
it.
you're prepared for it if you are in an accident. So I get where he's coming from.
I would
and I also
say-
hear where you're coming from. It's like he's like, I'm going to be prepared. I'm going to defend my family. Period. In the discussion, he has done the work prior to that person coming into his home. He knows how. He owns a gun.
A responsible
he knows
gun
how to
owner, I
use it.
have no problem with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're hunting, you're keeping it. Fine. But I'm saying to you, from my looking at what's available, like for instance, this is one little thing. Right after George Floyd went down, gun sales went up. All those tick ups were fear.
When
None of
Obama
that was
got elected.
None of that. When Obama got elected, gun sales ticked up. That was fear, right?
yeah.
Each time something happens, gun sales go up. Those tick ups are fear. That's why I say, in my unscientific estimation, the majority of gun owners in America are scared people. Majority.
I'm not going to disagree with you.
Or they purchase the gun out of fear.
Yes,
But
but
the-
majority of the last however many decades when things have gone and ramped up, it's ramped up. That's what I'm saying to you. The majority.
There's also elements to that too, because there's a lot of legislation and policies that are put in place to limit the magazine capacities or
limit the gun.
or ban at the firearm that you actually.
Well, very few of those are passing though.
No. They're passing.
How many states have passed that?
Rhode Island
magazine
just
cap? I saw
Rhode Island
that.
just restricted a 30-round magazine. I think you can only have a 10-round magazine
Because
now.
why would
And
you
now the
have
bump
a
stock is
magazine that
coming.
but why would you have that if it wasn't to
get
take a
around.
large amount of human life?
Well-
That's not a hunting material.
Well, you have
Bushmaster guns in particular.
okay. So with that in mind, though, you have to consider this, and in no way, shape, or form am I saying that everyone should own a firearm, in the sense that if they are unable to properly operate it, properly keep it
Clean.
keep it
and
clean,
it's-
safe,
It's a process.
whatever. There's a process,
But
and also there.
Everyone should know how. Like it should be part of school.
I do think
I
that
hate
should
to
be a
say
part
it.
of school. I do
I hate
think
to
that should
say
be.
it, yeah.
I disagree.
And the thing is too.
I'm the only one that's going to do it. That's fine. I'll be the only one.
I'm not saying the
That's
school
fine.
says
We
you
need to
should
disarm
own it,
society
but
at large
learn how
because that's the problem.
But arm them with the information. Know how to store a gun.
Also,
know how
you talked
to,
about violence too. Like decommissioning violence. Like not decommission. That's the wrong word.
but
De-escalating
How
the
do we
violence.
lessen the
well,
violence
we
in
gotta go from
society?
Yeah,
all
start
the way
from
to the
the-
top.
yeah,
We gotta go
yeah,
all the
yep.
way to the top because we can't start at the bottom.
Right.
We can try to have our community strong in that, which we should, because
But you gotta start
ultimately
at-
it's up to us. We have to have the community go towards the top. You got to cut the head of the snake first. Peacefully cut the head of the snake. That's what-
Because those people will always jump over you
Yeah.
if you start down here. But
Yeah.
we're going to be anti-violent. But we're just going to deal with
Because, like-
punching. But so this person comes up with, well, I can stab you. Or
Right.
then the one person trumps them. I can shoot you. But so you're right. You have to start off with
And
the
that's
gun.
why
because-
it never stops, right? So there's gonna be somebody who says, "Yo, you got the so and so automatic weapon. Well, I was able to go on the black market of the internet and I obtained a rocket." Right? And, no,
Well,
I'm real with you.
I mean,
the problem
so that's
with
the
gun
government,
sales,
that's-
it just goes up and up and up and up. It's an arms race.
Sure.
And the problem with an arms race is it never benefits anybody but the arms dealer.
and who's behind it?
In the end, the military industrial complex,
Mm-hmm.
people who actually make weapons. If your job is to work for DARPA,
Mm-hmm.
you're every day making weapons that will destroy humanity. That's to me the bigger crime.
Well,
right?
look, I mean, yeah, we could, because that's artificial intelligence. That's what we're heading into right
We're
now.
justifying the
And
fact,
I would, and that, so that would be the next boogeyman.
back to AI.
You could,
Oh,
you,
stop this. We're never going to leave here.
you could put that. If we got, do we got still a few more?
I got date night.
Oh, we got date night.
got date night.
9:36. Oh my
And
God,
she's listening.
All
so
right, all
we
right,
in
all
trouble.
right.
We in trouble.
Hey, baby, I love you, my
Hi, baby, I'm
fall.
sorry.
You're so beautiful.
I'll say this. I was like, if we're to put it in perspective, having a rifle and a pistol, and we're having artificial intelligence being put into these robots and all this stuff. Well, that's a formidable enemy that I would want to defend against. With that said,
Give me an AK for a robot.
So you got your gun, and I just bought the latest Tesla bot.
I'm gonna shoot you.
Okay, you
Right.
will have to step up your game and go
See-
buy a
see,
Tesla bot.
now-
And so who benefits off of the two
I'm
Tesla bots?
shooting the Tesla
I'm gonna
bots.
need a
Who
Star
from the
Wars.
streets?
I'm gonna need a Star Wars lightsaber.
Do you understand? It goes
Yeah.
up and up. It never
yeah.
ends.
I know, brother.
So
I
a
know,
better,
brother.
more practical,
you.
sustainable way to save society is to lessen and melt all the fucking guns.
I
but it'll never
100%
happen. I know. It'll never happen
Yeah,
because
'cause
we're stupid.
you-
Human beings
you
are
can't
dumb.
put- you- no,
and
you can't put
capitalism
it back.
runs our actions.
Well, that's
You
the
can't
thing.
put it back in
for
the
me,
box.
For me personally,
That's the problem with humanity and capitalism.
You can't put it back in the box.
Once you
You've
invent
already-
something,
yes, you can't put it
It's
back in the
out.
box. For me personally, owning a firearm is to make sure stupid people don't come through my door, because they're not going to leave the same way when they came in.
I got you. And I guarantee you, they come into your house, they might get shot. They come to my house, they're going to have a broken arm. And they might live and learn about their lessons and,
They
and,
can live
and change their
You
lives.
can put some buckshot in
Most
there.
people
Fire.
do not shoot people in the legs or the arms. The cops shoot for center of mass.
If he's a
We
shot-
shoot.
if he's
We
a
shoot
shotgun,
to kill.
if he's
There's
a
nothing
shotgun-
about gun culture.
But
Yeah,
if
but
it's
if you
a
got-
shotgun and he puts the buckshot in
Let me
there,
ask you this. Let me ask you
buckshot,
an honest, both of you for this fact, because this is a hot topic.
It's a burning topic.
It
bro.
is a burning
And
topic.
I didn't know I wanted to talk about it so much. I appreciate you.
No,
giving me the
yeah.
opportunity.
No,
I didn't know.
absolutely,
combo.
absolutely.
On my head, bro.
And this is honestly,
I told you this is a free. Listen, this is anything goes in here. We can talk about anything. On here, it's free open platform. I'm not censoring any of this shit that we're talking about. This is all good. And the people out there, they need to hear it too. So, I try to, I do my best to keep it as authentic as possible. You know what I'm saying? But granted, if we're gonna say like, yeah, okay, we could say like, there's. I'm not saying there's boogeymen out there waiting to prowl on your house. Okay, we'll end in a couple minutes. In a minute, there's not a boogeyman that's prowling to get in your house. I'm just saying the what if situation. I'd rather have a gun and not need it than need it and not have it. That's just my personal point. That's it. I don't ever want to use it. I don't ever want to use it on a human being.
And
I don't ever want to do that.
And I'd rather not be in a position where I have a gun and someone gets harmed for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
Or I could have talked them down and they could have lived and I took their lives. Because every time you take a life, you're taking it from the mother, the father, the auntie, the sister.
You're playing
the mother.
God.
You're playing God. And human beings do not have the right to play God. So this is an unholy invention. Though we designed it to protect ourselves originally. It started off from just regular projectiles and we just advanced the projectile. Certainly, it is an unholy, ungodly advantage to be able to take a human life.
I understand.
It is hard. Try taking a human life with your bare hands. Try.
Yeah.
It is hard. It is designed that way. We have now designed a weapon that takes 10 of them.
I would argue that it's still even hard.
of them.
I would argue it's still even hard to do it with a weapon. If you're a conscious human being, if you're a logical human being,
if you're a conscious human being, amen. No, this is dope, man. I appreciate you being able to provide this opportunity.
Absolutely, brother. I appreciate all of us being vulnerable on the topic because you know what I'm saying. That's what it's
a
about.
hot one. And in respects to people who are responsible gun owners, there's no hate, but I feel like I don't think they're the majority. I mean, I wish they were.
Yeah,
we all were responsible gun owners.
Listen.
But I just feel the majority of people are irresponsible, are buying it for sport. They use their COVID money and cop the gun. They're not going to the range. The guns aren't clean. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Until
the majority of the users.
Until actual education, not just the free education this government offers its citizens, but actual education. Until that is pressed and at the forefront, we're gonna keep having these disagreements because what you're saying is folks need to be educated. That's really what keeps a bad man with a gun from causing more problems.
Yes,
education, not the gun. So for me, back in the day, we used to have beefs.
Yep.
And we live to talk about it.
To me,
and
that
now kids go to school
I agree
and
with that.
shoot up the whole school
Sure.
and disrupt 100 families. You
having a
shouldn't
street
have that
fight,
right.
in my
You shouldn't
opinion,
have that
having a
right.
street fight is a little bit different. Having someone coming and approaching on your home to cause violence, that you don't get the same rights that I would give someone in a street fight.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
But I wouldn't necessarily
Because my
wanna kill
family's
you.
there. My family,
I want
you know
to take you down. I want to disable you. I want to make it so you cannot harm my family. But I don't want to ever kill anybody.
So
There are
me,
very few
I wouldn't.
instances.
I'm not
I wouldn't
saying-
mind.
I'm not saying
I
I
wouldn't
wanna
Kill
mind if you
somebody
died.
coming into your home.
I wouldn't say I
You
want to
said-
kill you.
You
I
said
would-
they
I
were
would-
hungry.
I
You
would
said
t-
they were starving.
I said
and they
they-
had to come up, and you would kill them for wanting to come up.
hold on. That's
saying-
not what I said. That's not what I said, brother.
Suggested.
No. That's not what I said.
Okay.
The possibility is what that is, and that's probably something that you can reason with. I think that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
But there are people,
Yes.
are people who still have that intent
It can't be
and
reasoned.
cannot be reasoned with, and those are the ones that you may have to put down.
Yeah.
And that's just that's just the reality. That's my opinion. I'm not saying that someone's if you can reason with someone, if I could reason, it's not to say that someone's coming through the door and I'm pointing and I'm gonna. I don't know. I don't know what the situation would be. I don't know how the reaction would be. But if I'm able to talk while I have a weapon drawn and I'm able to talk them down, then I'm going to talk them down. I'd rather talk them down.
There's a video
However,
on the
there
internet.
are many.
better than I do.
That's what I'm saying. But there are videos about that. Now,
Right, the guy,
if that person's
the young
going
man came in the yard,
yes,
and he had a shot. He was,
yes,
we're gonna talk, and he offered him a job and stuff. Like,
Yep.
I was like, that was cool. You know what I'm saying? I was glad that went down.
But he
because
coulda-
the kid was messed up.
But
in the
he
head,
also
too.
could have died too. That's the other reality. He's probably a father.
The kid could have been fearful in the shot anyway.
Yeah.
And got
So
it, you know what I'm saying?
so to take that chance, I mean, I get it. You got to weigh it out a little bit.
I'm
But
saying America's crazy as shit,
Yep,
and
we
we're
are.
all afraid of America. Let's be real. The reason why
We're
you're
afraid
saying
of
this stuff,
ourselves. We're afraid of
because
ourselves.
America
Yeah,
creates
yeah.
crazy
What
motherfuckers
does
that might
David
come
Bowie
into your
say?
house.
I'm afraid of Americans.
Amen.
I'm afraid
And
of
that's
the
it.
world.
And because of that,
I'm
I have
afraid
to
I
admit,
can't help him. I'm afraid I can't.
I gotta admit that I was gonna have my son not have any water guns or any kind of gun-like toys in his life,
And then at some
That's
point,
not reality.
and
No,
at
I'm
some
with
point,
you.
I became very aware that he's living in a world full of other people teaching their kids how to shoot guns, a very gun culture.
Bruh.
And so I'm making him aware of stuff. I don't keep his stuff around. But I do feel the need to educate because he's going to be dealing with gun owners.
With our students, we had a box of Legos. They began to make, I call them shooters. I told them we don't do guns here. But it was just crazy how like these kids given a box of Legos. What was the thing they all made?
Guns.
Fucking guns.
Because they're bombarded
And I'm
with
talking
the
kindergarten
movies.
and first grade and pre-K.
Yes.
That's what they did. They made the first thing that they didn't make a car for their mom to get to work all the time or a cool job that gives them money. Nothing. None of that shit. Nothing, they didn't make food. They made guns right away.
What's the number one game in America right now, bro?
Call of Duty, Modern
Fortnite.
Warfare. Fortnite, yeah.
Because for kids.
Oh, yeah,
for kids.
Fortnite. Yeah,
you,
yeah,
you and I
Fortnite,
play
yeah.
Call of Duty, but Fortnite, babies are playing it, bro. You know?
Parents were paying people to teach their children how to be good at Fortnite.
Do you understand? And that's the goal.
That was the
next,
thing.
next time you pump
I was
gas,
mad, like,
next
damn
time you
it.
pump gas, look at how you pumping the gas.
Yeah.
Next time you water your lawn, look at how you watering your
Everything's
lawn.
got a trigger to it.
Boom.
Yeah.
We are a culture that is basically made this way.
I think
on
you
purpose.
and I agree
Hold up.
on the same thing.
Hold on 1 second.
We have a different position on it.
We have a different approach. I mean, I absolutely
yeah.
respect
Yeah,
your
yeah.
approach. And again,
Yeah.
that didn't come across. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What needs to come across?
no,
I
no,
do respect someone's right to feel the need to protect their family. And at times I've come up with it, man. I've come up to the point where I'm like, yo, should I go get a gun? I was, first case in point, I was driving this last summer, driving to California. I'm like, I ain't never been outside of the East Coast. And I've been down south for college, but with my family, with my little
Right.
family. I haven't been out to some of these places, Mississippi, Alabama, like, I was a little nervous, right?
Right.
Texas. I was like, yo, I'm gonna be traveling with my family in this little RV, like I'm a white guy, having a good time, crossing the country. Like I should have a right to go cross country trip, but I felt a little concerned about who I might run into because a lot of racists exist.
My phone just died. That spoon's calling me.
I gotta
Sorry.
not do that right now.
Sorry.
So I remember calling a friend of mine who is a gun owner, who is a gun advocate, and I called and I was like, "Yo, bro, should I carry a little piece with me, man? Because I don't know my family, you know." And he was like, "Every state has different laws. You don't want to put yourself in that position. Just don't even do that, you know."
Right.
And I appreciated that advice because I was living in a space of, caution. Let's not call it fear, but caution.
Concern.
I was
Yeah.
concerned of like,
Yeah,
yo,
yeah.
I don't know who I'm gonna run into. I got this biracial family with these mixed kids and my white wife. Like, yo, it might go down out there when I'm on the road. You know? And when I was young, I didn't walk through my own hood without, like I said, the aforementioned knife. So, but he said to me, yo, the laws are different. You might possibly put yourself in a position where you might get taken away from your family, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In the midst of some legal stuff. You just don't, you know?
Yep.
I had another advice from my hood friend who was like, yo, hell yeah, bro. Them racists out there. You know what I mean? I had to decide. And I decided to land on the side of, I'm going to go with God. I'm going to go with the fact that I'm protected. And I did. And I got back safely, and I thank God for it. I wouldn't say it doesn't always work. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. If you don't believe, it won't work. So for me, just for me, I guarantee you ain't nobody coming in my house and getting out safely, even without the gun.
I respect that.
That's it.
I respect that.
And I respect your right to be able to protect your family in any way you think you need to, as long as you're not a crazy gun nut person. You're legit, like, I know how to clean it.
I'm going to run around the streets
I keep it
tonight.
safe.
I'm going to run around the streets tonight.
Keep
No.
it safe. Keep it safe because it is a dangerous thing to hold on to.
I believe me. I have a huge respect for firearms.
Have a respect for it.
Absolutely.
Amen.
I have a huge respect. So this is a great discussion.
Every time, bro.
Great discussion.
Every time.
You guys got to come back again, like sooner now. Sooner though, because
Okay,
I want to
okay.
talk. I want to talk about the artificial intelligence side
We ain't doing the AI. We didn't get into
of
the
hip hop
okay.
and all that shit. But listen, real quick before you guys go, let
Yes.
everybody know what you got going on next, shows, all that stuff.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna look through the camera and smile. Hey. So right now, I'm super focused, hyper focused on United Soul Alliance. Just wherever you see USA, look for us.
Look it up.
That's what we're doing right now.
All
That's the move.
platforms.
All platforms.
United Soul Alliance. We have a track with Conway the Machine. We have tracks with all kinds of local MCs in Rhode Island. Listen, we've been performing and doing stuff for over 10 years. United Soul Alliance.
Keep up.
Keep up.
USA.
Links in the comments also, or in the description rather.
Boom. Boom.
Right.
Shout out to my sons, Keen and Kellen. I love them. My boys.
You gonna shout your kids out? I got shout mine out. You know what I'm
Cool.
saying? Shout out to Adelaide, Zion, and Mabel, and shouts to Emily. Peace, peace, peace.
Awesome.
Shout out Logan.
Shout out Logan.
Shout out Logan.
Appreciate y'all. I love y'all, man. I love
I'm
y'all
gonna
for
jack
coming
you for
through.
that hoodie at the end of this.
He's got a gun, yo. He's got a gun now.
All right, I love y'all for coming through. Thank y'all.
Beautiful, man.
We
gotta
love
do
you
this
for
again real
having
soon.
us, man.
Yes,
Thank you for
absolutely.
having us and giving us this opportunity.
Thank you, brother.
Absolutely.
We appreciate
I appreciate
that,
y'all
man.
for showing love and coming in through. I appreciate y'all.
Keep doing your thing. Keep doing your thing.
Thank you, thank you. Everybody out there, making sure you go like, share, subscribe on Spotify, Apple,
True
iHeartRadio,
perspective.
YouTube, and Rumble.
And like that video, NPR, Tiny Desk, United Soul Alliance. Appreciate it.
Yes.
If you go like that. It's a good job.
Check out the
Yes.
True Perspective.
True Perspective, Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Rumble. Thank y'all. Love y'all. Peace.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This is a struggle for the survival.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And this will be our last chance to say.
Trying to free your mind. It is this feeling that has brought you to me.
At last.
No judge in U.S. history has ever told somebody what they can and can't say.
The whole purpose of the First Amendment is to keep the government the hell out of the business of speech.
Many of us have been wrong and break. A lot of us here are calling.
I can only show you the door.
Waking up.
You're the one that has to walk through it.
Spreading a message.
Something's happening, right?
The world is changing. Every day.
Civilization is weird.
Time is coming.
At a
Trying to
tipping
get me stopped. And it's already here.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This is a struggle for the survival.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And this will be our last chance to say.
Trying to free your mind. It is this feeling that has brought you to me.
At last.
No judge in U.S. history has ever told somebody what they can and can't say.
The whole purpose of the First Amendment is to keep the government the hell out of the business of speech.
Many of us have been wrong and break. A lot of us here are calling.
I can only show you the door.
Waking up.
You're the one that has to walk through it.
Spreading a message.
Something's happening, right?
The world is changing. Every day.
Civilization is weird.
Time is coming.
At a
Trying to
tipping
get me stopped. And it's already here.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This is a struggle for the survival.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And this will be our last chance to say.
Trying to free your mind. It is this feeling that has brought you to me.
At last.
No judge in U.S. history has ever told somebody what they can and can't say.
The whole purpose of the First Amendment is to keep the government the hell out of the business of speech.
Many of us have been wrong and break. A lot of us here are calling.
I can only show you the door.
Waking up.
You're the one that has to walk through it.
Spreading a message.
Something's happening, right?
The world is changing. Every day.
Civilization is weird.
Time is coming.
At a
Trying to
tipping
get me stopped. And it's already here.
chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This is a struggle for the survival.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And this will be our last chance to say.
Trying to free your mind. It is this feeling that has brought you to me.
At last.
No judge in U.S. history has ever told somebody what they can and can't say.
The whole purpose of the First Amendment is to keep the government the hell out of the business of speech.
Many of us have evolved to believe. A lot of us here are calling.
I can only show you the door.
To awaken others.
You're the one that has to walk through it.
Spreading a message.
Something's happening, right?
The world is changing every day.
Civilization is weird.
Time is coming